Please don't leave. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. Yeah. Cause I done fell off again. My bad decisions got me in a place of distraught again. Look in the mirror, I don't look the same. I got some weird in my thoughts again. Try to dress it up, make it look pretty. Silently crying so no one can hear me. And I can't come to the phone. Just please leave me alone. Really, I'm scared. Don't wanna tell you I'm living in sin. The Most High forgave me of my sin. Don't wanna tell you I did it again. Nah, I just need to repent. I know. Get up, try it again. Righteous. Abba, please help me fight this.
Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah. Father in heaven, I'm having a crisis. You know how heavy this life gets. Fight the flesh with a tight fist, but I'm getting tired and I might slip. Might fall, but I don't trip, cause you in control of my soul. So if any day I'm feeling hot or cold, I know you controlling them both. This here righteous man fall 7 times while I'm on fall number 88. I would've died in the hands of man, but it's all praise, I would give me grace. Father, free me from my worldly ways. I wanna see the 12 pearly gates. I fought the fight and I kept the faith. Christ took the charge, verse 48.
Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you.
Yeah, hallelujah. I get it, I'm weak in the flesh and I had to admit it. Had a cheat sheet for the test and I still fell short while bearing your image. Back to the trenches from Kemet, you feel a lot different about sin when you in it. I can have plenty of riches like Saul, but what's life if I'm dead in the spirit? Repeating my sin like a parent, forgive me for being a burden. Repent to the great physician, don't cut me off like a surgeon. Save me from the Medes and Persians, keep my gaze from the reach of the virgin. Everyone don't have the privilege of serving. I just wanna hear well done with the verdict. Good and faithful servant.
Father, I sinned
Again.
over and over again. Mercy, have mercy on me.
Have mercy.
I'm begging you to wash me clean.
Make me new, yeah.
Living without you ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it at
When
all.
I don't feel your presence, I get nervous. Here's my heart purging, and I know that I deserve it. But whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. Whatever you do, don't take your spirit. Whatever you do, don't take your love. You can take anything from me, but I need you. But I need you.
As I walk through the valley of these blocks, I keep my Glock cocked. I do not trust these cops. Raised by G's and thugs, I'm in love. My only fear is him above, I'm in love. I am what I am. I don't give a damn. I was born with no spoon. Got it out the mud, so when I write these tunes, it's written with my blood. In prison at 19, was out at 24. So much I done seen, but gave my word I wouldn't say more prayers. I ride through the valley of these streets, that heat under my seat. I do not trust police. Serve respect before you serve my steak. I'd rather have respect than a high steak on my plate. I do what I choose, ride solo when I move. I can be a good damn man, but won't be nobody's fool. Just let me lay my head in the valley of your chest, just looking for a little rest. Come eliminate my stress. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Raised by G's and thugs, my only fear is him above. I am what I am. you don't know what to do. The villain becomes your hero, not afraid to do what I gotta do. Whatever I gotta do. I'm an all-new, raised by G's and dogs. I'm an all-new, my only fear is him above. I'm an all-new, I am where they am. I'm an all-new, I don't give a damn. Bible in my right hand, gun in my left. Screaming with my might, I'm an outlaw, tatted on my arm. So you've been warned. I'm an outlaw, move out my way. Don't wanna leave, but I can't stay. My barrel stays hard. You ain't taking nothing I got. I hope you understand. And I'm a good damn hard man. My faith in the Lord, even though this world made me hard. I'm an outlaw.
Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up. All we thought we knew, it's been nothing but a lie. Religion's pushing Esau's agenda on the true Israelite. Let me make it crystal clear. I'm here to serve you how a child, and nothing's gonna change that until we meet him in the sky. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up, Israel. Rise up. Is it just your emotion that you're feeling on the inside? Or maybe it's conviction, since you learned the truth about the Most High. Or you could just be fearful of the
Hayahawa, Hafapalau, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever.
Salat nawan
Shalom, shalom, shalom. What is going on, brothers and sisters? What is going on? I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, who is the supreme intellect of the universe. And I do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Once again, it's your brother, Priest Daniela, back at you another Saturday morning with another class early in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know for some of you guys in different time zones, it's even earlier than that. So we definitely appreciate you, brothers and sisters, that come out every week and support the classes. And as always, I'm joined by the Elder Zahab. We want to definitely say peace and safety to everybody. Hopefully, my voice is reaching everyone in good health, for the most part, right? We all have our little, things that we have, but hopefully I'm reaching everyone in good health, and hopefully everyone is in good spirits today. All right, I want to shout out everybody that's listening to us on all of our YouTube platforms, Maccabees TV, Lines of Israel class, Lines of Israel congregation. Be sure, guys, to hit the like button on the video. Be sure to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and that you hit the notification bell so you guys can be notified every time we go live. And we go live 5 times a week, just about, no, I think even more than that now. I think we got classes 6 days a week, and morning classes, AM classes is coming really soon as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed to our channels so you guys can be notified if these classes are edifying you all, which I pray that they are. I want to shout out the folks over on Clubhouse. So guys on Clubhouse, I usually give you guys a 1 to 10 scale of how important it is for you guys to listen to the lesson as opposed to viewing it. So if you're on Clubhouse, you only can listen, you can't see. So on a scale of 1 to 10, today's class is going to be 100,000. I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of stuff, probably things that you've never seen before, and maybe stuff you've never heard before. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you guys how to deal with it too. So if you are on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. So if you are able to, click the link at the top of the room, come over to YouTube and join us over on YouTube so you guys can see exactly what it is I want to, what the Spirit put on me to share with you guys today. As always, I'm joined by the Elder Zahab. So without further ado, I'm going to allow Zahab to make some opening remarks, and then we'll go from there. He might have stepped away from his computer, I'm not sure. If that's the case, then we'll get started momentarily. In the meantime, while we're giving Zahab a moment or two to come back to his computer if he can, I'm looking in the comment section. I'm going to need some audience participation today. I know it's early, guys. I know it's early. But I need some audience participation. So, as always, well, I ain't going to say always. I've only been doing this a little bit recently, but I'm going to do a little bit more. I want to make sure y'all are awake. So, I need to see those coffee mugs. Somebody said I'm muted on Clubhouse. There it goes. See, that's what I have y'all for. I am muted on Clubhouse. That's crazy. I'm sorry, Clubhouse. Guys, the link is at the top of the room. Today's class is very visual on Clubhouse. So guys, make sure you guys come over to YouTube, click the link at the top of the room. I'm going to be showing you guys some things that I think you want to see, that you may have never seen before, you may have never heard before. So you guys on Clubhouse, click the link and come over to YouTube. Link is at the top of the room. My apologies. I was on mute that whole time. That's crazy. All right, so okay. While I was talking, I'm seeing the coffee cups in the chat. I'm seeing the coffee emojis in the chat. Yeah, because we starting off early. We starting off hot early, guys. We starting off hot early. Now, for all you brothers that are teachers, I ain't gonna ask y'all. I ain't gonna ask for 10. I'm gonna ask for 5. I want you to go to y'all emojis, and I want to see one of 2 things. You all can do it. You all can do it. But I'm especially talking to the teachers. But you sisters, you can do it too. I want you to go to your emojis. I want to see either a pen or a piece of paper emoji in the chat. Or you can do both. I need to see 5 of those before I get started. I'm not getting started until I see 5 of those. Go to your emojis and find the emoji for a pen, a pencil, or a piece of paper, one of those things, and put it in the chat. Let's go. And I'm doing this for a reason. So there's 2. There's 3. All right now. Does anybody know why I'm doing this? You should be able to kind of tell why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I'm going to be going over some stuff for you brothers that are teachers. Just because somebody ain't knock you upside your head with these doctrines yet doesn't mean that somebody won't eventually. And then I don't want y'all making an emergency phone call to me when my mind is somewhere else. I'm at work, I'm doing something else, to ask me, hey, brother, what was that thing that you said in class? No. I'm going slow today. I want you brothers that are serious about teaching to take notes. You ain't got to take notes for the whole class. But I'm going to tell you the parts of the PowerPoint that I need for you to take notes. So that if somebody comes up to you at camp, or some blockhead Negro comes up to you at work or wherever and says this dumb stuff, you can refer to your notes and you'll know how to answer these things. It's very, very important. That's why I'm taking great pains to do this. I need for y'all to pay attention. And for the brothers that are teachers, especially those y'all that are in LOI, really everybody, but especially you brothers that are in LOI that are teachers, especially if you teach on the street, Negroes like to do the gotcha moments, and now we live in the age of cell phones where they film it, put it on YouTube, put it on freaking TikTok, and say they stumped the Israelites. They asked you a question and you couldn't answer. Well, we're not having that. Normally, some of the stuff I teach in the academy, but today I'm going to actually put some of this in today's lesson. All right, so I done stalled for enough time. Again, you guys on Clubhouse, the link is at the top of the room. If you guys want to see this stuff too, y'all might want to come over, because some of these things you may have never seen before. Okay? The Bible does say, shout out to Sister Pora, the Bible does say, study to show yourself approved. That's the point. That's the idea. All right. Elder Zab, are you there?
Khan, Adawan, Khan, I'm here. How's my volume?
Yeah, your volume is good. You can make your opening remarks.
No, I don't have nothing, brother. I'm curious to see where you're going with this in the spirit. So let's go.
All praise to the Most High. So without further ado, I know last week we had some audio issues. I was trying something. It didn't work. So the first half of the class had an echo. I'm not going to try that this week, huh?
Yeah, don't do that. No.
I'm not going to try it this week.
I mean, some people, they were cool with the echo, but it was like sometimes it could distract the people from learning. You know what I'm saying? And really kind of dial in and focus on what you're trying to do. So that echo, that was a no-no.
Yeah, I was trying to do different things to make the presentation on you guys and what you guys see more seamless. But in doing that, sometimes there'd be a little hiccups here or there. Anyway, so let me just.
PowerPoints is fire though. I get better and better. I don't know if the audience recognize or see it, but I'm seeing it, brother. You stepping the game up, brother. All praises.
All praise to the Most High. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I put a lot of effort into this stuff. And you've done PowerPoint, so you know how hard it is. And to do them every week.
Good Lord, yeah. It's a labor.
So, yeah, I know. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. Gotta stop sharing the screen. Hold on a second now. I'm out of order. I gotta stop sharing the screen for a second. Hold on now. Hold the French toast on now. I almost forgot, and I'd have been mad at myself. Let's do this real quick. Let's go.
Jason got an A on his math exam. Who wants to go to the movies? I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson, but I'm going to have to let you go. How am I supposed to take care of my family?
Honey, I just got fired, but don't worry, we're going to be all right.
Honey, how are we going to pay these bills?
It's been 3 months and I still can't find a job.
Mrs. Johnson, you are approved for assistance, but your husband can't stay in the house.
I got approved for public assistance, but you cannot stay in the house.
Do they still do that?
Daddy, please don't leave!
I'm so sorry, honey.
I miss my daddy. When is Daddy coming home?
The principal called again. You skipped class 3 days in a row. You did not come home last night, and who was that boy outside?
These kids are out of control.
I wish their daddy was here.
All right, y'all. I need to see the fire emojis in the chat. Shout out to Sister Malika from Las Visible Video Department. If y'all like that, I need to see the fire emojis. Give us some encouragement. I need to see the fire emojis in the chat. Let's go.
Good job, Sister Malika. Good job. That's fire. I do have a question though. Do they still do that? I don't know. I'm ignorant. Somebody tell me. Do they still do it where if a sister is applying for social services, if a man is in the house, they deny? I know they used to do that in the 60s and so on and so forth. Is that still relevant to this day?
I believe it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes. And Sister Angelina is in the chat. The princess, she said they still do it today. All right, guys, let's go.
They do? Oh, my God.
They still do it today.
Good Lord.
All right, brothers and sisters, let's go. So let's get started. Shout out to Sister Malika. All right. If y'all want to learn how to do those AI videos and turn them into short videos and introductions for classes, we're going to have Sister Malika teach you guys how to do that, especially if you want LOI. Join the video department today.
And Sister Malika, if you're listening too, you got to link up with Brother Yadai. Brother Yadai has some software also. Y'all need to link up.
All praise to the Most High. All right. So let's get started. I think that we have exhausted enough time. All right. So today's class is called Family Matters. Strong families build strong communities. And you guys saw the little video introduction, so you guys have an idea of where I'm going. But at the same time, you guys have no idea where I'm going. Praise the Lord. Because you're like, well, if you're just teaching a class about family, why do we have to take notes? Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Let's start off with oldies but goodies. Let's go to Jeremiah 16. We're going to pick it up from verse number 10. It says, "And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, Wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil upon us?" So now I want to stop there. I've gone over this before in other classes, and the Kemetic community tries to stump us on this. When it says evil, I want you guys to understand evil is not in terms of sin in this context. Because, the Sonettas of the world and people like that will be like, well, I thought God was good. How could he be evil? It's not talking about that. We're speaking a bastardized language called English. When it speaks about the Most High bringing evil on us, it's talking about the Most High allowing calamity to happen to us. The Most High withdrawing his protection and allowing the other nations to come in and spoil us. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about God actually doing literal evil. Those guys are stupid. No disrespect, but I'm just saying. That's what it means. So again, it says, "And they shall say unto thee, Wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity?" So our people are going to get to a point where the calamity is so great that our people are going to actually ask, and this question has been asked in different iterations, why is it that we so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were able to be conquered by these other nations, especially the so-called white men in modern times? How was that possible? What is so great about them and so off about us that they were able to come and conquer us everywhere that we were? What's our sin? Is our sin our skin color because we're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American? We have some melanin in our skin. Is that our sin? Because that's what was taught, right? It's taught about the curse of Ham. If you have black skin, you're cursed, which is not in the Bible. But anyway, that's what was taught. Is that our sin? What is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God? Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me. So Jeremiah was saying when the people would come to him and ask him, why is this stuff happening to us? Jeremiah would say, well, your forefathers forsook the Most High. We say the same thing. Our forefathers forsook the Most High, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods. That was happening during Jeremiah's time, and it happens during our time too. And have served them. and have worshiped them. We did that when we were in a Christian church, or if some of us were Muslims or whatever you were. We did these things. We served these other gods. And have forsaken me. We forsook our rock, God of the Bible, the God of Israel, Yahweh, and have not kept my laws. So during Jeremiah's time, the people were not keeping God's laws. In our times, the entire doctrine of Christianity is that you don't have to keep God's laws. So it's the same thing. Verse 12. And ye have done worse than your fathers. So during Jeremiah's time, what the Bible is saying is that the people of Jeremiah's time is worse than the people that was during David's time. And the people of David's time were worse than the Israelites that were back there with Moses. That the Most High consumed most of them in the wilderness, and they never even went into the promised land. Every subsequent generation is worse and worse. And our generation is the worst that we're living in right now. It's the same thing. And ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after his own imagination. Now you can't tell nobody nowadays nothing. Nothing is wrong. It doesn't matter what it is. And we're going to see that in this PowerPoint. You can't tell our people, the Israelites, Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, nothing. There's no such thing as right or wrong anymore. I don't know how many of you guys are following this case. It's a case of a so-called white woman named Lindsay Clancy, who murdered her 3 children and blamed it on postpartum. That's one of the biggest arguments going on social media right now. And forget about and she's a white woman, by the way, but forget about that. You have our women, Israelite women, that support Lindsay Clancy. You heard me right. Yes, she murdered her 3 children, blamed it on postpartum, and you have our women that are supporting her, saying that postpartum is an excuse to kill your own children and she should not go to jail. That's as evil as it gets. Because if you are, as an Israelite man, a black man, Hispanic, Native American, married to a woman that thinks that postpartum is okay to kill your children, that means that that woman thinks that it will be okay if she did it. I'm not saying she's going to do it, but you have to look at that mindset. It doesn't get more evil than that. It just doesn't. So everyone, after the imagination of their own evil heart, which is your mind, that they may not hearken unto me, because we don't want to listen to the Most High. When we go to Deuteronomy 32, verse 7, we understand that the old way is actually the good way. It says, remember the days of old, and consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. That's what we're supposed to be inquiring for. Those of us in the truth, this is what we're doing. But we're a drop in the bucket compared to the majority of our people. Our people don't care about the old ways. They think the old ways are just that, old ways. Like, well, I'm not like my great grandfather, my grandfather, or my father. I'm not like that. Who cares about the old ways? And I told you guys before, and I'm giving y'all something personal about me. You know, I don't give y'all much, but I'll give you something personal about me. I had this conversation with my son, and my son said this to me. He said, me and you, 2 different people. I should have knocked his teeth out when he said that to me, but I didn't. Of course, I did. I thought about it. I was picturing it in my mind, but I didn't do it. Because he didn't like something I was saying to him, and I'm telling him that you should. This is how I did it. This is how my father, your grandfather, did it. He says to me, well, we're different. We're 2 different people. And he's doing it the dummy way, which is why, anyway. So this is real. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. It says, thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of preview of what we're going to be going through. Why am I going through all this? The old way was, we as the Israelites, from the time of Adam up to the time of Noah, through the time of Jacob, which we're going to go through all this, all the way up until the Israelites went into the promised land, The old way was the nuclear family. We were successful when we had a nuclear family. Man, woman, children. That's when we were successful. We're wondering why we're at the bottom of everything. It's because there's no more nuclear family in the Israelite community. It's not. So Jeremiah is informing the people, you're supposed to look for the old way, right? But today people are saying, I don't need to be in a relationship with a man or a woman, depending, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be in a relationship. We don't need a nuclear family. Children don't need both parents. That's the mindset of today. So the old paths are frowned upon. This is Job chapter 8, verse 8. It says, for inquire, which means to ask. I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of thy father. So we can see from Moses to Jeremiah to Job, you're supposed to be following the pattern that was set by those before you. Now, not all the pattern, but the pattern that was successful. And when there was a nuclear family in our nation, we were successful. Everybody understand? Okay. There is no more nuclear family in our community. And so as a result, because there's no more nuclear family, there's also no more community. There's no more nation. We're destroyed. This is Isaiah 51 verse 20. It says, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord and the rebuke of God. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but there's something called teen takeovers that's happening all over the country, where these teenagers are going into major cities and causing, it's our people. Our people, where there's no more nuclear family, are going in and causing havoc in cities across America. Watch this video real quick.
Is a lack of proper arresting of these teenagers and trying them through the criminal justice system. She's right when she says go to the home and go to parents. I think a lot of these parents don't give a damn about what their kids are doing. I think some of them are doing worse than their kids. Others are...
Wait. We just read that in the scriptures. And ye have done worse. Isn't that not what we read? That's what we just read. This generation is worse. That's literally the Bible. And she didn't even know that she was quoting scripture.
Is a lack of proper arresting of these teenagers and trying them through the criminal justice system. She's right when she says go to the home and go to parents. I think a lot of these parents don't give a damn about what their kids are doing. I think some of them are doing worse than their kids. Others are scared of their kids. And that's what's leading to these teen takeovers in the streets, where absolutely nobody is being held responsible. And teens are ruining cities. They're ruining second and third places where people like to go and build community with one another. And we're just allowing it to happen, essentially. I know the police are going to start responding to this more and more aggressively, which we'll get to in a moment. It starts at home. We'll say it again.
So in certain states, they're proposing legislation that when teenagers do that, they come into the house to see you, the parent. They're coming to see you. So this idea of being scared of your children is out the door. You got to put your foot down. You got to keep a foot on their neck, proverbially. It doesn't matter. There's no being scared. Because if your children are out doing this in certain states, and that's social engineering through the music, the popular culture. We already know, we talked about that. We're going to talk about that again in the future. It's through social engineering that these children are wild the way they are. And the removal of the nuclear family. And what's going to wind up happening is many of the adults are going to wind up in jail behind their children. That's coming. I want y'all to know that. This is strategic. Let's play a little bit more. We're going to move on.
Let's go back to Super Nanny.
You are the parent. Lead your family. Sit your children down. Look them in the eye. Draw the line.
And a lot of parents don't draw a line. They don't set boundaries because you want to be your children's friends, right? And because approximately, give or take, 70% of the households in our community is run by the women, a lot of y'all are scared of your children too. A lot of us have been conditioned not to put hands on your children. The Bible says you can put hands on them. Now, obviously, that's not something you want to do. You want to exhaust other options, but the Bible says you got to put hands on them sometimes. But that's discouraged. So all these things have been removed. The hedges and the boundaries have been removed, and this is the result. So when today's class is called Family Matters, it matters because we are the community where the family is destroyed the most. And that's why we act the way we act the most. because it does matter.
Is a lot.
Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25 through 32. It says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ, Yahushua, also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, verse 27, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies, meaning whatever you want for yourself, however you treat yourself is how you treat your wife, because y'all are one. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, which we're going to get to when we get to Adam and Eve. You leave your father and your mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Why is it a mystery? Because the mystery is that before we go out into the world and stand on the corners and point the finger at everybody else, it starts in our households. It starts in our households. The first congregation that you got to get in order is your own household. As a man, starting with your wife. Your wife has to be in order. And you and your wife have to have a unified front when dealing with the children. The children can't play games with you as the father to go around mommy to go to daddy. And the children can't go around daddy to go to mommy. You got a unified front. The child understands whether daddy's at work and mommy's home, that when mommy speaks, that's law. And if you go against that, the enforcement is coming home at 5 o'clock. Understand that. There's going to be enforcement, there's going to be boundaries, and there's going to be penalties. It starts in the house. This is 1 Timothy chapter 3, starting from verse 1. It says, this is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth the good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife. Now, I ain't going to get too far into this. When it says one wife, it doesn't mean that actually goes into the idea of a man has to have a wife. It doesn't mean that you only can have one. I know this is English, so a lot of y'all see it says one. No, it means that you can't be a bishop if you're not married, because the whole idea is how can we put you over the church when you can't even govern the household? You have a wife and children, you can't govern that, but you want to be over everybody? No, you have no example. You have no place to put this thing into practice. So when it says a bishop must be the husband of one wife, it's a wife in the Greek. You have to have a wife, you have to have children, and they have to be in order. And then you'll be able to put in order a congregation. That's the idea. There's no bishop that don't have a wife and children. That's what this is saying. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, meaning you got to be skillful in teaching, not given to wine, no striker, no domestic violence, you beating up your wife and all that, none of that stuff. Not greedy of filthy lucre. You can't be in charge of the account of the congregation because you're spending the congregation's money on yourself. Patient, you can't have a short temper. Not a brawler, everything is a fight. Not covetous, you want something everybody else has. Here it is. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection. So the Bible doesn't just say the wife is supposed to be subject to her husband. The Bible says the children too. That's the idea. That's the testing ground. With all gravity, meaning they understand that there's consequences if they're not in subjection. There's consequences to that. That's how you avoid the teen takeovers. Verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? That's the whole idea. The reason why our community today is out of order is because the leaders, the men, can't rule their own houses. And when you add in the social engineering of the family court system, removing the man out the house, and all these other factors, the drug game, prison industrial system, you name it. That's why we are where we are. Because there's no more the leadership of the man. The woman has been caused to take on the role of the man, to take on the role of the leader, to she's supposed to be the nurturer. Now she has to be the disciplinarian and everything else the man is supposed to be. But let's be real. Kids don't respect that. I'm a man talking to you, right? The last time my mother gave me a whooping, I had to be like 11 years old. And I could see I didn't do nothing to scare her. But I could see the fear in her eyes the last time she gave me a beating at 11 years old, because I didn't even cry. I didn't even wince. That's the last time my mother hit me. And it was, I know now, being a grown man and having wisdom in the, the perspective of time, I look back and say to myself, yeah, she didn't hit me no more, because prior to that, when she would hit me, I would cry. But that last time I didn't cry. I'm like, man, that ain't nothing. And she understood, I don't work no more. So there was a certain level of fear there. Because that's the man's job. Everybody understand? So the point is, man was set at the head. The body, the first body he governs is his household. And the body follows his lead. If he's a good leader, then his household will bear good fruit. That means a good wife and good, well-behaved children. This man that has a good wife and good, well-behaved children can then take on the greater task. That's what these scriptures are talking about. Can take on the greater task of leading a community of homes. That's the whole congregation. Meaning you're instructing other men how to rule their households. This man can take on the greater task of leading a community of homes or churches led by men that have a similar mindset. And these men are also producing good fruit. That goes from it just being your household to now the community is good. And then those men in the future will raise up other men. And the cycle continues. You go from one household that's in order to a community that's in order to a nation that's in order. And Esau knows that, which is why he destroyed it in our community. I want y'all to understand. That's what we're going. This is how it started. The call to have a family. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. It says, so God, Yahweh, created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion, which is rulership, over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Boom. Now we're going to take a dummy detour. This is what I was talking about when I told y'all need to take notes. We're about to take a dummy detour. We're supposed to be talking about family, but since I just read you guys Genesis 1, 27 and 28, we have to have a conversation about 28 because there's a lot of dummies in the world. So we're going to take a dummy detour just for a second. We're going to take a few dummy detours. Normally I teach like this in the academy, but I said since I'm here and most of y'all will never take the academy, I'm going to teach you guys this and help you guys out in case a person that thinks they're smart comes in front of any of your camps and tries to use this against you, you know how to respond to it. So we're going to take a dummy detour. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. It says, and God, Yahweh, blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Now, you guys, that's why I told you guys on Clubhouse, you need to be over on YouTube. The link is at the top of the room. Because some of y'all need to see this. In case anybody ever says this stupidity to you. So I went and looked up the word replenish in the English language. Because we're speaking English. The word replenish in English means to fill something up again. Now you might be asking yourself, what does any of this mean? I'm confused, I'm lost. You ever been to a restaurant and the waitress comes or the waiter comes to your table and you order your food and you order your drinks? And then, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you finish your drink before the food comes, it comes slow, or you finish your food, you finish your drink halfway through the meal and the waitress or waiter comes back and they refill your cup? Y'all know what I'm talking about? What that implies is your cup was filled before. And they've come to refill your cup, replenish your cup. Did you guys know that there's a doctrine out there that teaches Genesis 1:28 is saying that there was an old earth before Adam that was populated for millions of years by people? And that's why the English language uses the word replenish. It's implying that there were people that were here millions and millions of years before Adam. Did you guys know that exists? Because of that one word? Because the dummies only looked it up in English. Did you guys know that? And here's a dummy right here. This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. It says, the simple believeth every word. So this guy right here has the glasses, them old people glasses too, right? They have the hooks to the ears and everything. Looks smart as hell. So you think this guy's smart. So because he talks smart and he has this little caption right here that says, this is a nugget. He's about to drop a nugget on us. So somebody simple will just watch this video and be like, damn, he got a point. That was deep. The simple believeth every word. But the prudent man, the wise man, looks well to his goings. You're going to look into things. But let's hear him out first, shall we? Let's hear him out first.
All right, folks, nugget number 2. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. Genesis 9, verse 1. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
Now, during the time of Noah, it makes sense because there were people that were living before Noah. We understand why the Most High came and destroyed the world via flood and only saved 8 people. So, to refill the earth during the time of Noah makes sense. But pay attention.
That word is used one other time, that is replenish, is used one other time in the entire King James Bible. It's used twice. And God said unto Adam, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
He think he's deep.
And I have to ask a question.
He think he's deep.
First, I'll make a statement. We understand why Moses was told to replenish the earth, because all the inhabitants of the earth were killed. Everything that had the breath of life.
It's not Moses, it's Noah, by the way.
Why did God ask Noah, or ask Adam to replenish the earth if there was no one present on the earth prior to Adam's creation?
This nigga think he deep. Y'all see that? He's not answering the question. He's not giving you nothing deep. Just these long, dramatic pauses. This nigga's stupid. Sorry. There might be children listening. I'm going to be better. Let me be better.
I'm being taught this stuff.
Well, what is his point, though?
If you read the book, and this is why there's so many people that are not, cool with it. It's boring. It is really boring, the way it's being taught. I've been in churches where it's really boring. This stuff, if it's taught the way it reads, it's not boring. It's not boring at all. Why did God tell Adam to replenish the earth if there was no one on the earth prior to Adam being created?
This nigga think he deep. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, to answer Elder Zob's question, let's go back. Because the English word for replenish means to fill something up again. So the point he's trying to make, or we think he's trying to make, is that there had to be people before Adam, because it uses the word replenish. So there was a whole earth with millions of years before Adam that the Bible doesn't talk about. That's the point. Because it uses the word replenish, which means to fill again. The Nuwabians, the Dr. York followers, the atheists that don't believe in the Bible, this is stuff that they use. This is stuff that they use. You got to be aware of this. So now, let's go ahead and let's debunk this bullshit, because it's just bullshit. So, as I told you guys before, synonyms for replenish is to refill. So like I said, if you're in a restaurant, they refill your cup, whatever, when you're having your meal, whatever like that. Here's the problem. The Bible is not originally an English language. So the translators made a choice to use the word replenish. That's where he stopped. But the Bible says a prudent man, a wise man or woman, looks well into their goings. We're not stopping there. You cannot understand the Bible using English words, using a Western mindset. You cannot. So we go to the Hebrew. And the word for replenish is the word mala'ah. That's the word right there. You guys see it. And the word in Hebrew means to fill. So the way that the translator should have translated this is be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Not refill it, as in there were people before, but fill the earth with people. The Hebrew shows you this. That's all he had to do. But he didn't do that, because he's a deep dummy, like a lot of people are when it comes to the Bible, especially when they're trying to debunk it. And that's why our camp, I can speak for us, LOI, I can only speak for us. I know some of our other camps that we're cool with do the same thing, but I only can speak for us. That's why we encourage you. Yes, you must sometimes go into the Hebrew, because the Hebrew gives you the sense of what the English cannot. The translators told you over and over again that when they translated, certain things fall short. This is an example of something falling short. But the Hebrew makes it make sense. So now we done took your devilish doctrine away by using the Hebrew. I want to make sure everybody's with me now before I continue. I want to make sure everybody's with me. If y'all follow that and it makes sense, I want y'all to put 1 in the chat. We're going to take our time today. If that makes sense, I want y'all to put 1 in the chat. If it didn't make sense, you can put 2. That's okay. I just want to see. I just want to see. And we got some more dummy detours we're going to do later. Because these people are ridiculous. All right, I saw the ones. Back to today's lesson. So now that's out the way. Now we can get back on course. We're talking about the family structure, guys. I had to take a dummy detour for a second, but we're talking about the family structure. Hopefully you guys took notes on that. When you guys go to Genesis 1:28 and somebody says some stupid stuff to you like that, go to the Hebrew. Conversation over. Continue it on. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 through 24. It says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave name to all the cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto Adam. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this right now, because I got too much to go over. This is metaphor. This is allegory. It's not literal. The Most High found a worthy woman during the time of Adam. Because remember, in Genesis chapter 1, the Most High caused all the creatures to come out the waters, which included man. So there were women around. The story in the Genesis is focusing on Adam and Eve, but there were other people around too. The guy that was a serpent, that was an actual snake, that was a man. There were other people around. So the Most High found Adam a rib, meaning somebody that was closely related to him from his line, his family line. That's all that's going into. I ain't going no deeper than that right now. The Most High gave Adam a helpmeet, or a wife. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother. That's the same thing we saw in the New Testament. And he shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Let's move on. So the family was established in the time of Adam. The Most High told Adam to be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, replenish the earth, fill the earth with your offspring. Let's jump over to Noah's time. This is Genesis chapter 7, starting from verse number 1. It says, "And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark." So notice, when the Most High deals with somebody, the Most High deals with that man and his family. It's always family centered. "For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." So because Noah was found to be righteous, the Most High not only saved Noah, but the Most High saved Noah and his family. Because the family is the central structure to community, to nation. That pattern is all through the scriptures. Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. "And God, Yahweh, blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply." And there's that word again, replenish the earth. It just means to fill it up. The Most High only saved Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. That's 8 people. So now, since there's only 8 people, you guys have to fill the earth up again. That's what the word replenish actually means. All right, so now we're going to go down the line of Noah all the way to our forefather Abraham. This is Genesis 18, verse 19. It says, "For I know him, that he," talking about Abraham, "will command his children and his household after him." Is that not the same thing that we read in the New Testament about a bishop and his household and his family, guiding his family, guiding his household, dealing with his children with instruction and gravity and all that? It's the same thing. Come back to Genesis, same thing. It says, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord," just like a bishop will. To do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. So we're seeing all the way from the time of Adam through Noah, all the way down to Abraham, we're seeing a pattern of the Most High dealing with a family structure. And the man is at the head of that structure. He is the example leading and guiding his family into doing what's right. Let's jump over to Genesis chapter 24. Starting from verse number 1. It says, "And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in many things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven, the God of earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell." Real quick, this is Abraham before Israel was born, right? Because you have Abraham, and then you have Isaac. Then you have Jacob, which is Israel. So this is way before. Even going all the way back to Abraham, the Most High didn't want us dealing with the Canaanites. You see the same thing here in Deuteronomy chapter 7. After Israel is established, the Most High said no dealing with the Canaanites. That was a thing all the time, right? Deuteronomy 7 verse 3. It says, "Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, and nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy sons." So there was no marrying the Canaanites, even before Israel existed. Jumping back over to Genesis chapter 24, verse number 4. "But thou shalt go unto my country and unto my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac." That's the same thing I was telling you earlier with Adam. When the Most High said that he took a rib from Adam, it's the same thing. Marry within the family. Not your close relatives like your sister, whatever, but marry within the family. Keep the line pure. Don't go outside of it. You're seeing the same thing right here. Same thing. Verse 5. And the servant said unto him, peradventure, the woman will not be willing to follow me onto this land. And we're going to deal with this shortly, because this is a misconception among some brothers. And this is something that the people that hate the Bible try to weaponize. I'll read verse 5 again. And the servant said unto him, talking about the servant speaking to Abraham, peradventure, what if the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land? What is that showing you guys? The women did have a say-so, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that. Just because her father wanted to marry her off to somebody, a good father that loves his daughter is going to at least listen to her opinion. Ultimately, he has the last say-so. But a good father is going to listen to his daughter and at least solicit her opinion. I want you guys, that's right here in the script. We're reading that. We're going to read it further. This idea that the women just had to marry, your father just dropped you off to some damn big, fat, big belly, 9 months pregnant looking dude that looks crazy. No. A good father is going to have a conversation with his daughter. The servant understood that. The daughter might tell her father, I don't want to go. And that might persuade the father to be like, well, then you don't have to go. Sometimes we read the Bible so fast, we read right past things. Because those that hate the Bible try to make it seem like the women are so oppressed. You Israelites, you oppress your women. No. She had a voice. Let's keep reading. Verse 5. And the servant said unto him, peradventure, the woman will not be willing to follow me into this land. Must thy needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou came? And Abraham said unto him, beware that thou bring not my son thither again. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house, and from the land of my kindred, which spake unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, unto thy seed will I give this land, he shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. So Abraham is simply saying, you're going to find a wife for him. Basically, the wife that you find, she's going to go. She's going to go. She's going to be willing. Verse 8. And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. Let's move on. There's a lot to go through. Sorry, guys. We got to take another dummy detour. Since I read that, we got to take another dummy detour. This is Genesis chapter 24, verse 9. It says, and the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swear to him concerning the matter. Did you guys know? Did you know? And Sonetta did this years ago. And we chopped him down then, but many of you guys never saw the video. That's why I'm doing this now. Did you guys know that the Kemetic community, the conscious community, the atheists, they read the scripture and they say that Abraham's servant put his hands, let me think of a good way to say this. They teach that Abraham's servant put his hands on his manhood. Is that a good word? Is that good? His manhood.
That's off, because it doesn't say that.
We know. Clearly we could read, but they can't read, right? So, yes, they teach that in Hebrew culture, this is how they try to mock us. They teach that in Hebrew culture, when we made oaths, I got to grab the manhood of another man in order for us to make an agreement. And this is the proof text they use. Now, y'all probably say this is crazy. Preacher crazy, this is crazy, right? Niggas do this stuff. How do I know? Listen, Esau is a freaking pervert. They got this from Esau. Here is the white man telling you that this is how they interpret the verse. Listen.
If you or I swear an oath today, maybe we raise our right hand or put our hand on the Bible. But on 2 occasions in the book of Genesis, we have reference to a man putting his hand under the sexual organ of another man when swearing an oath.
Is that what the Bible says? I don't see that on the page. But you heard what he said, right? He says there's 2 places in the Bible where a man making an agreement with another man puts their hand on a man's sexual organ. I don't see that on the page, but that's what they teach. And I need for y'all to know that. That's why we're taking these dummy detours. I need for y'all to know that. Let's go back. Listen.
If you or I swear an oath today, maybe we raise our right hand or put our hand on the Bible. But on 2 occasions in the book of Genesis, we have reference to a man putting his hand under the sexual organ of another man when swearing an oath. One of these is...
Now, I think this guy's gay, because how else can you see that on the paper? Because I don't see that. But anyway, let's continue.
In Genesis chapter 24, if you're reading through the Bible in 1 year along with me, then you encountered that when Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac. Before that servant left, Abraham said to put his hand under his yarek and swear an oath. Yarek is usually translated there as thigh. Put your hand under my thigh and swear this oath.
Because that's what it says on the page, right? That's what it says on the page. It says thigh on the page. However, let's keep listening.
But yarek is probably a euphemism for the male sexual organ. Almost all commentators argue for it.
Did y'all catch that? He didn't get that from the Bible. He's arguing from commentators that come later that have a perverted, warped mindset just like him and transform this into now a man grabbing another man's sexual organ to make an oath. The Bible don't say that. So I wanted you guys to see that. They're getting that from commentaries, not the Bible. Does everybody see that? Your man Sarnetta, I don't care if any of y'all know him and tell him I was talking about him. He need to come watch this. Your man Sarnetta did a whole video on this thing. This is what the Bible means when it says a prudent man looketh well into his goings. Let's keep listening.
That. Back in Genesis chapter 46, all the descendants of Jacob are said to have come out of his yarek, so out of his male sexual organ.
So I just wanted you guys to see that. Let's move on because there's a lot to go through. So I want to teach you guys something. It's crazy, right? So here in Genesis chapter 24, verse 9, as you guys could see, right? The Hebrew word here is yarak, or as it says yarek, right? So this is the Hebrew word. We're not running from this. We're running to it because we're not afraid. It says yarek, right? What I want you guys to notice is the majority of times in the Bible that this word is translated is actually thigh 21 times. Only twice is it ever referring to a man's sexual organ. The majority of the times that you see this Hebrew word is talking about somebody's thigh literally. Only the devil will make this into grabbing another man's sexual organ because the Bible tells us their vine is the vine of Sodom, another seed of Gomorrah. They have that homosexual spirit laying dormant in them. That's why they read this as a man grabbing a man's rod, because that's what they do, but that's not what we do. Y'all bear with me. I'm kind of just ranting right now because this is crazy. Now, who's paying attention? I should make y'all put the coffee cup emojis again. Who's paying attention? Without me even breaking down the screen, what do you guys see? I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds. What do you guys see? Or a better question is, what do you not see? Let me help y'all. Let me help you. According to that white boy, Genesis 24, verse 9, when it speaks about the servant putting his hand under Abraham's thigh, he said that was the sexual organ, right? What you have here in Blue Letter Bible, the only 3 times, let's come back, let's do it slow. The majority of the times that the word thigh is used, it's literally talking about your thigh, not your sexual organ. There are only 3 cases for shaft and 2 cases for loins. When you guys come right here, the times where it's actually talking about a man's sexual organ is Genesis 46 and 26, Exodus 1 and 5, and Exodus 28 and 42. Guess which scripture, just guess which scripture is not talking about putting your hands on a man's sexual organ. Genesis 24:9, it's not here. Y'all guys see that? It's not there.
You know what? You know what it is, priest. I think that's called projecting or projection because them goddamn Egyptologists, man, they got a thing about that, and I think, and I know you know about that already. Because if we was to flip it on them and go into their writings, it's beyond weird as hell.
It's in here. I got that. It's in here. It's in here. It's in today's lesson.
Salak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now you guys understand why we're taking these dummy detours. I pray that you guys are actually taking notes. What I'm showing you. Some of you guys have never seen this before. Let me find out. I'm gonna see a video of y'all getting stumped on this. This is crazy. This is crazy. Ain't no gay stuff in the Bible. They made that up. They made it up.
If I could also, right?
Yeah.
While you're in Genesis, just a quick topical search. You look at Genesis 32:25 when the angel of the Lord wrestled with Jacob, right? And touched his thigh.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the scriptures, the thigh is a spiritual part of the body. You understand? The Lord is referring to that. When you go to Revelation also, it says there's a word written on the Lord's name. And his name is written on his thigh, on his garment, the thigh part, right? It's all spiritual things, right? But leave it to a common man. What's the word? Churlish? Churl? A churlish or vile man. He'll take it and flip it. Just like when you read the scriptures when I think the Apostle Paul is saying, greet one another with a holy kiss, right? Mm-hmm. Brothers would take that and just run with that. I remember the same people, I'm not going to call any names, I'll let you do that, priest. Same people talk about King James and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You know where I'm going with that. You read things in the Bible, right? But you apply it to your worldly mind today, where everything is a pause and everything is a this and a that. And that's the spirit you're throwing on the Bible when it's not even like that, man. And, I just want to bring that out to let people know, listen, when you're reading the Bible, you got to look at it through a spiritual lens. Because there's plenty of scriptures with the Lord denouncing any type of sodomite acts, any type of wicked, anything with a man and man type of thing. So obviously it's your understanding that's skewed. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to bring that out, priest. Go ahead.
Hey man, I call names because these dudes can't see me when it comes to information. These niggas can't see me. Just gotta keep it real. And I don't talk a lot. I don't toot my own horn a lot. These niggas can't see me with information. Like you come with shit, I already studied it. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. So come correct or don't come at all. That's just what it is, right? Anyway, y'all watch this. Somebody come look at this, right? The Most High made it where the word loins, which is talking about your manhood, and thigh is in the same verse. This is Exodus chapter 28 and verse number 42. It says, and thou shalt make them, talking about Aaron and his sons, their garments, linen breeches, to cover their nakedness. From the loins even unto the thigh shall they reach. Somebody come look at this. What it's literally talking about your loins, like your manhood, it's a whole different Hebrew word. Do you guys see that? This is the word that's in Genesis where it says Abraham's servant put his hand under his thigh. This is the word that's actually talking literally about your manhood. It's two different Hebrew words. Do you guys see that? It's right on the screen. It's right on the screen. God did that. Praise the Lord. Okay, we got a lot to go through, so we're past that. We're past the dummy doctrine now. Let's get back to it. We're supposed to be talking about family. So we're going to get past the dummy detour and we're going to continue. This is Genesis 24, verse 10. It says, and the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed from all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down within the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink. And she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed from thy servant Isaac, for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed kindness unto my master. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher unto her shoulder. Jumping down to verse 16. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had any man known her. So this virgin is literally, she was never touched by man. And she went down to the well and filled up her pitcher and came up. Verse 17. And the servant ran to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hastened and let down her pitcher unto her hand and gave him to drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also until they have done drinking. And she hastened and emptied her pitcher into the trough and ran again unto the well to draw water and drew for all his camels. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace, to wit, whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. Now, I want to ask a question. What is a bride price? Because that's not a thing that we do today. A lot of times you meet a woman, you and her make arrangements amongst yourselves. Y'all like each other. Y'all plan the marriage amongst yourselves. Her father is not involved, whether he's alive, not alive, whatever the situation is. The family's not involved. Today, the way we do things, we just do things our way. But that's not how it was done in ancient times. In ancient times, there was a bride price. A bride price is also known as a bride dowry or bride wealth, or bride service or bride token. It's money or property or other form of wealth paid by a groom or his family to the woman or the family of the woman he will be married to or is just about to marry. So the man would come bearing gifts. He would give the gifts to the woman, and he would give gifts to her family. You guys are going to see this is in scripture. This is how engagement and betrothal went in the Bible. I don't know what we do today. I'm showing y'all this is how it went in the Bible. Okay? Now I need to have a conversation with the sisters just for a second, if I could. You brothers, y'all just sit back. I'm about to give a red pill to the sisters. Y'all were taught that the red pill is men that hate women. That's the way that it was taught today. But that's not what the red pill is. The red pill comes from the movie The Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you can just go on and be in la la land, be delusional, not know what's going on in the real world, not know the truth. But if you take the red pill is going to cause the scales to fall from your eyes, and you're going to see the truth. So I have a red pill for my beautiful Israelite sisters today. And I know that I'm teaching y'all this and y'all are not like this, but I'm still going to teach it to you anyway. Because maybe you have family members, cousins, friends, associates, co-workers that's still taking them blue pills every day. So I'm going to equip you with the red pill, sisters. And you're going to have to give the red pill to other women that you know. They're not going to want to take it, though. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to want to take it. They're going to want to take that blue pill every day. I'm telling you right now. Every day. These sisters don't want me to talk about it. They don't. Am I your enemy for telling the truth? The sister on the left says I'm about to ruin it for the sisters, the women. The sister in the middle says I shouldn't show what I'm about to show. Grandma in the middle says, don't start. And the sister next to her says, why are you teaching this? I'm teaching it because it's true. It's true. Y'all remember the slide about the bride price? That's in the Bible. This is Genesis 24, verse 22. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of a half shekel. Now you have to, y'all have to do your own homework. I didn't do this right now. What would a half shekel in Abraham's time be worth today? Probably a lot of money. I didn't do that math right there. Y'all can do that math. But he took an earring of a half shekel weight and 2 bracelets for a hand of 10 shekels. So you have to go and see what the 10 shekels is. Weight of gold. That's the bride price. So y'all remember before it said that you give that to the woman? That was the custom. The custom was not, I'm going to say it again. The custom was not the engagement ring that we do today. Oh, I'm messing it up for the sisters because y'all love that engagement ring. It was not. That's not Hebrew culture at all. And I'm going to show y'all where that comes from. It's not our culture. Is it wrong to give your betrothed an engagement ring? No. You can do that. It's nothing in the law that says you can't do that. But that's not our custom, though. That's 2 different things. And I'm going to show y'all why I'm saying that. Because the women in the world are crashing out behind this. Behind the engagement ring. They're crashing out behind this. This is why many of them will never be married. Because they're being influenced by social media. About this, the engagement ring is a big, big, big conversation. When that was never our custom to begin with, ever. I want to introduce you, sisters, to the De Beers family. The whole idea of you getting a diamond ring for your engagement was a whole marketing scheme. It comes from these devils up here, the De Beers family. That's not Bible. I'm not saying that you can't do it. That's not Bible. And the reason why a lot of our sisters in the world crash out behind this is because they have been influenced by a marketing scheme that's been perpetuated forever. This comes from these devils right here, the De Beers family. So we have an image right here. This brother got on one knee and proposed to the woman. She said, no, I'm not marrying you. Why? That ring is too small. I know my worth. That ring is not big enough. Who is she influenced by? The De Beers family. So she will not get married to a man. Let's just say this brother has every other quality that a woman would want in a man. He's kind, caring, he's a leader, he's a provider, he's a protector, all the things, whatever it is, whatever it is. Let's say he has all those things. But he gets on his knees and he does the diamond is not big enough. You have a lot of our women that will not get married. The brother will check off every other thing on the list and she will not get married because the diamond is too small. When that's not even our custom. So I'm going to play this video for you guys real quick. This is a podcast of a woman who rejected, because y'all think this is just hyperbole. I just made an image. No. A woman wrote into them that her fiance proposed to her and she turned him down because the ring was too small. And it's been 1 year since he proposed and he's not proposed to her again. He's not proposed to her. That was her one shot. He has not proposed to her again and now she don't know what to do. Why? Because you're influenced by social media. Listen to the video.
So now it's been almost a year. He's not saying anything about marriage again. And she's saying help. So a woman called up an advice forum and said that her boyfriend proposed to her in February of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
She said no because the ring was small. He said she needs to think about it and never gave him a response. She didn't like that the ring was small, and she didn't like the setup. Like, you know, like he literally took her to the park and got on one knee and proposed. She didn't like that because she wanted some grand gesture. So now it's been almost a year. He's not saying anything about marriage again, and she's saying help. What advice do you have for her?
If you didn't have the conversation and you felt all this way about it, why are you still with him? If you wasn't satisfied with his best, then you should have went to go find yourself somebody else. That's my opinion on it.
But what I don't understand is
now you screaming for help. Once you go get him a ring and you go propose to him.
I was just about to say, but what I don't understand is he got down on one knee.
And it wasn't grandiose for you.
It's not even that. He got down on one knee and asked you, would you marry him? You said, I'll think about it, and never got back to him, but you're waiting for him to come to you.
Well, maybe get back to him. I don't know what to say.
Why are some of our women in the world like that? Because of marketing. That's why. Now, I know that that's not my Israelite sisters, but y'all, come on, let's be real. We understand that this is how people in the world think. This really does go down. Let's go to the next one. Would you say yes to a silicone engagement ring? So you're not getting a De Beers diamond. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're going to get a silicone ring, and you might get moissanite, which is fake diamonds. But the man checks off every other box. I want you guys to understand, where am I going with this? This leads to the destruction of the nuclear family. Because now we're focusing on all the wrong things. All the boxes the man checks off that are good for you as a woman. He's a leader, so forth and so on. That could be passed down to your children. You're skipping all of that for materialism. That's the beginning of the end of the nuclear family, because in this economy, men can't afford to buy you the De Beers ring no more. Let's be real. So if the diamond is moissanite and not a real diamond, and the ring is silicone, would you say yes or no? The women in the image, they'll say no. Listen.
Somebody proposed to you and they presented a ring that looks like this. It's a silicone band ring. It's super cute. It's super sparkly and actually makes my hands look really good. Would you accept their proposal?
Hell no, bitch.
That's so rude. I would. I mean, depending on your status in life, like people get married. Like I got married really young and we couldn't afford anything. And I think I would be okay with something like this. You can always upgrade in life, and it's the symbol. It's a symbol of your love. And depending on their bank account, they might not be able to afford something extravagant. But this silicone ring that I got for like vacations and then work out at the gym, this silicone ring right here is so cute. I mean, when I tell you, I opened the package and I was like, oh my God, this is really, this is nice. So I started thinking like, wait a minute, if we could only afford something like this, when we first fell in love, we first got married, would I be okay with that? And I think my answer is yes. So I want to know what y'all think. If y'all like it, if y'all want something sturdy, or depending on your financial status, you want to get engaged to somebody, it's all you can afford, I will link it in this orange box right here in this video. If it's great, somebody proposed to you and they presented a ring.
So to hell with morals, to hell with character. If the man has all those things, he checks off all the boxes of morality and character, etc., leadership. If the most he can afford is a silicone band ring with moissanite and not a real diamond, you're going to say no. That's the majority of our people, which is why amongst all the people, we have the lowest marriage rates amongst us. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons. It's our mindset. At one time, we were the most married. Now we're the most unmarried. And this is social engineering. This is trying to keep up with the Joneses. You go on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and you see these, saying people, lifestyle influencers, and you see them having the lifestyle and this, that, and the third, and everybody aspires to that. You know what I'm saying? You watch reality shows, everybody aspires to that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not your life. That's not your experience. And if you can't achieve that, you don't, it's crazy, man. So much to go through, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's move on. So I took a screenshot of her comment section, and I want you guys to look at Sister Kimora right here. She says, so cute, but as an engagement ring, no. So she would turn down a man that checks all the boxes, morality, character, leadership, etc., if the ring is not what she wants. That's the beginning of the end of us, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. So you guys can see my query on Google real quick. I ain't gonna spend too much time here. I asked it, does the custom of giving a ring for engagement come from Egypt? And the answer is yes. So we're really following a custom that goes all the way back to Egypt, that the Lord told us not to follow their customs, right? The ways of the Egyptians we shouldn't follow. And we're following it to the point where we'll turn down a good engagement, a good possibility of a good relationship because the ring is not big enough, and that comes from Egypt. I ain't gonna read no more. There's a lot that goes into this. Y'all can do your own research on that. But the idea is it comes from Egypt. It's not our culture, brothers and sisters.
We're told that diamonds are forever. Not just James Bond, but brides all over the world know this phrase. The diamond ring is synonymous with getting engaged, but this tradition, like the diamond business itself, is the product of clever marketing from a company that had just about a monopoly on the business for a century. That and other tales of how one gemstone came to dominate the jewelry industry can be found in the new book, Brilliance and Fire, A Biography of Diamonds. The book's author, Rochelle Bergstein, joins us now. Welcome, Rochelle.
Thank you.
I want to start with the idea of the diamond with getting married. We usually think of the diamond rings as being exchanged during the engagement period, but this wasn't always the case. How did that come about?
Well, before diamonds were discovered in South Africa in the late 1880s, diamonds were legitimately rare. They were only owned by royalty and by people in this country who had made a lot of money doing things like building the railroads. After diamonds were discovered in South Africa, they became available to a much larger swath of population. So because of that, jewelers started thinking about ways they could sell diamonds to average people. And one of the ideas that came about was the diamond engagement ring. This was in the early 1900s, so at the turn of the century.
So this idea of giving a woman a diamond ring for an engagement is less than 200 years old. It's not ancient. That's what I was telling y'all. I showed y'all how it came to pass in the Bible. It's right here.
Hey.
He gave her an earring. He gave her bracelets, so forth and so on. It wasn't no engagement ring. It's not. Go ahead, Zab.
How far back did this getting down on one knee thing start? That's what I want to know.
It's not in the scriptures either. I didn't search that, so I can't answer. That's not in the scriptures either.
Because our people look stupid as hell, man. I ain't going front. The rib I'm with, even from before when I was within the world, man, I never got on the knee. I don't know about you, priest, but I just never understood that. Why am I getting on a knee? You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the church, right? If you get on your knee, you're worshiping the Most High, you're praising the Most High. So by you getting on a knee or getting down on one knee, what are you trying to say? Like the woman is worthy to be worshipped? Is that what it is? I'm sorry, priest. I'm not trying to go there. I just wanted to know where did that come from?
I didn't search it, so that's homework for all of us. I didn't search it, but yeah, it's not. We don't see that happening in the scriptures anywhere, right? But again, the Disney fairy tale idea for a lot of our people, it's hard for them to break away from that. So even as I'm saying that somebody's upset or offended right now as we're talking, but it's not. But they're offended for feelings. They're not offended because it's in the scriptures, because it's not in the scriptures.
Because if a woman see a man get on his knee, don't she feel as though like, this nigga will do whatever I tell him, right? Yeah. I could be wrong, but if you see somebody get it kind of puts you on a higher, puffed up level, right?
Yeah. And that's why that's what I was saying earlier. That's why a lot of our women on social media are crashing out, because men are not doing this, especially in our community. Men are not doing this like they used to do it with the frequency they used to do it. So they're crashing out. But really what it is it was never really a thing anyway. And the economy is kind of dictating where men are not even able to do these things anymore, right? The average American doesn't even make $60,000 a year. So ain't nobody buying you De Beers diamond, 3, 4, 5 carat diamond for an engagement ring. That's not a thing. And so now, because of social media, the women are like, well, if I can't get the 3, 4, 5, 6 carat ring, I don't want to get married. It doesn't matter if you check off everything else. That's a social engineered way of destroying the family. I don't care about the other nations. I'm talking about us, because our women are influenced by that too. Let's continue a little bit more.
And the diamond was the stone that was used most often in engagement rings, but it wasn't the only one. You know, people gave diamond engagement rings with pearls, with sapphires, all sorts of gemstones. In 1938, when the Depression had really cut into the American economy, the company De Beers hired an advertising firm to help reinvigorate the social custom of giving an engagement ring. It had really gone out of style, and younger people in particular, who are the ones getting engaged, of course, were really not that interested in doing it. So they hired an advertiser who created a set of print ads that made the diamond engagement ring feel really timeless. They wanted the product to feel classic and almost as if something that the knights were giving their ladies back.
So you guys get the idea. It's marketing. So sisters, I know I'm messing up the game. It's marketing. It's not Bible. It's marketing. I know you grew up watching Disney and you're expecting a big diamond engagement ring. And I hope you get one. And it's nothing wrong with a man giving you one if he has the money. Sisters, it's marketing. And you have to share this with other people that you know. You might know somebody that has a really good man, but he can't do this, and she's not going to marry him, or she has that mindset, if he ain't doing this and spending this, I'm not. Your job as sisters is to help other women, those that want to listen. It's marketing. It's not real. More.
You've made me the happiest man in the world. Emily, will you marry me?
How sweet. You like it, so you're putting a ring on it. But have you ever wondered why we put diamond rings on things we like at all?
Oh God, you're gonna tell us the awful truth about engagement rings, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Hi, I'm Adam Conover.
Hey, Adam.
And you may think of the diamond engagement ring as a timeless symbol of love, but it turns out this ancient tradition was invented less than a century ago by the De Beers Diamond Corporation. Before the 1930s, nobody exchanged diamond rings when they got engaged. It wasn't a thing.
Apple, what do you say we get married?
Oh, that's a swell idea, Frank. What do you give me?
Well, I got the shiny red apple.
Sold. Oh, I love you, Frank.
But in 1938, the De Beers Diamond Cartel launched a massive ad campaign, claiming that the only way for a real man to show his love is with an expensive hunk of crystallized carbon. And we bought that shit.
Now, hold on. Looks like if I don't buy you one of these ring dealies, then I'm a tiny peck of pencil neck.
Well, it's on the side of a building, so it's gotta be true.
Well, crumbs.
In fact, every element of the traditional American engagement was designed to make more money for De Beers. How much you drop on that rock?
I don't know, like $4 grand.
Jesus, Louises, that's more than your car.
My dad said the rule was 2 months' salary.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
So that's where we're going next. It went from having to give the woman a diamond to now, how much did you spend on the diamond? It's getting worse and worse. And it's not scripture. Let's come back to the Bible. Genesis 24, verse 23. It says, and said, whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee. Is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? Verse 24. And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. She said, moreover unto him, we have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. The man bowed his head and worshiped the Lord. Verse 27. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of my father Abraham, who have not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I being in the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. And Rebekah had a brother, and his name was Laban. And Laban ran out unto the man unto the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and bracelets upon his sister's hands. So there it is again. It's never an engagement ring. And when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, thus spake the man unto me, that he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, come in, thou blessed of the Lord. Wherefore standest thou without? For I have prepared the house and room for camels. And the man came into the house, and he ungirded the camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the man's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him. But he said, I will not eat until I have told mine errand. And he spake on. Now, what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? We're seeing the servant on behalf of Abraham and his son going to the family and asking for permission to marry the woman. That's what we're seeing. We see the same thing in the book of Deuteronomy. You're supposed to go to the father first and talk to the father. If you're not talking to the father, you're talking to the brother, the uncles, whatever man is there. You're talking to these men first and negotiating. That's what you're doing. Everybody following along? Okay. Picking it up from verse number 34. And he said, I am Abraham's servant. And the Lord hath blessed my master greatly, and he is become great. And he hath given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and men servants and maidservants, and camels and asses. So Abraham was rich, and these people were rich too, that he's going to. And Sarah, my master's wife, bare a son to my master. And when she was old, and unto him hath he given all that he hath. And my master made me swear that thou shalt not take a wife to thy son, to my son, of the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but thou shalt go unto thy father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. For those of y'all that have been here from the beginning, this is the same thing that's being told to Adam when the Most High said he caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and a rib was taken from Adam. That's metaphor, that's allegory. It's the same thing happening here. The marriage is being kept in a certain parameter. You can marry within these parameters, but outside these parameters, you can't marry. It's the same thing. It's being said more overtly here, whereas in the book of Genesis, it's more esoteric. It's kind of hidden. You have to just understand. You have to have an understanding of somebody to teach you to understand. We're reading the same thing. Verse 38. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, unto my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. And I said unto my master, peradventure, the woman will not follow me. So again, seeing the same thing. The woman had a say. And he said unto me, the Lord, before whom I walk, will send his angel with thee, and prosper thy way. And thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred, and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from this my oath, when thou comest to my kindred, and if they give not thee one, thou shalt be clear from my oath. Verse 42. And I came this day unto the well, and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if now thou do prosper my way which I go. Guys, sorry. We have to do another dummy detour. Yes, we do. Let's jump down to verse number 50. Lord in Christ, man, it's crazy. It says, Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceedeth from the Lord. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken. So Bethuel and Laban, as far as they were concerned, they were convinced that, hey, you can take our daughter. But I keep saying the same thing. It was not so quick. Even though they felt good about it, they still asked her opinion. Verse 52. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment, which is clothes, and gave them to Rebekah. That's the gifts that she got to be betrothed to this man, not an engagement ring. Y'all saw the history. That comes from the De Beers family. That's not Bible. He gave also to her brother. So not only did he give gifts to Rebekah, he gave gifts to her brother. And to her mother, precious things. He had to give gifts to the mother too. Watch this. And they did eat and drink. That's your ceremony where you have the families come together, where everybody's going to witness that these two are together. So you have the bride price first in verse 53, where you give stuff to Rebecca. Then you have the dowry, where you give stuff to her brother and her mother and her father, give them gifts too. That's the dowry. Then in verse 54, you have the feast where the witnesses are. This is how you get married in ancient times. This is all before you actually lay with the woman. That's why you have a thing in Deuteronomy. If a man lied with a woman, he had to give the father 50 shekels of silver because he passed all of this. Y'all following? He passed all of this. This is the right order. In Deuteronomy, where the man lays with the woman without doing this, that's why he had to pay her father 50 shekels of silver, because this is what you were supposed to do. Verse 54 again. And they did eat and drink. So there has to be witnesses to all these things. He and the men that were with him, and tarried all night, and they rose up in the morning, and he said, send me away unto my master. So now he done gave her gifts, her bride price. He done gave the dowry to her family. They done had the wedding feast. So he's like, okay, I did all of that. Now can I go back to Abraham and bring this woman with me? Verse 55. And her brother and her mother said, let the damsel abide with us a few days, at least 10. After that, she shall go. So her brother and her mother said, just let her stay for a few more days, and then we'll let her go. And he said unto them, hinder me not, seeing the Lord hath prospered my way. Send me away that I may go unto my master. And they said, we will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. What are they saying? They wanted her to stay 10 more days. Abraham's servant was like, nope, I did everything I was supposed to do. I want to go now. Verse 57 says that they asked Rebekah her opinion. Verse 58. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. So she said yes. So now remember, we're on a dummy detour. What's the dummy detour? The dummy detour is verse 59. Rebekah said, yeah, I'll go. But the dummy detour is in verse 59. Watch this. And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, because she was like, I ain't going to wait 10 days. I'll go now. And her nurse, and Abraham's servant, and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. Now, the question is, what is the dummy detour? The dummy detour is in verse 59. The reason why Rebekah said she'll go, I'm not going to wait the 10 days, is because Abraham's servant agreed she could be accompanied by her nurse. That's in verse 59. Let's read it again. And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse. So the agreement was, it's not in the Bible written, but you can just read with understanding. There was a negotiation going on. They wanted her to stay 10 more days. The servant said, no, I want to go now. They asked Rebekah. Rebekah said, yeah, I'll go. But notice the nurse is going with her. There's a negotiation going on. She'll go now, but only if the nurse goes with her. So what's the dummy detour? The dummy detour is the people that hate the Bible says Rebekah was a baby. She was a child. This is grown men sleeping with young girls that are children. Because it says Rebekah went with her nurse. So you guys see we have the Hebrew right here, right? The word for nurse is yanak. When you come to Blue Letter Bible, yanak means to suckle. So, in other words, that's the person whose breast you suck. So the haters of the Bible will teach you that Rebecca was underaged. She was given to be wife underaged because of this word, Eunuch. So the agreement was, yeah, Rebecca could go, but her nurse, the person that suckled her, has to go with her. So the Bible is, according to them, promoting underage women going with grown men, right? Some of y'all are stuck now. Oh my God, damn. Some of y'all are scratching your heads. Y'all taking notes? This is nothing to scare you. It's okay. Your nurse equates to your lifelong caregiver. This same nurse in Genesis 24 and 59 was assigned to Rebecca for life until the day the nurse died. We're going to come 11 chapters later in Genesis 35 verse 8. It says, but Deborah, now we have a name. But Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died. What is this showing you? The same person that was assigned to Rebecca from the time she was a child abode with her for life, meaning they were still with her when she became a grown woman. So what's implied in scriptures is not that Rebecca was a child in Genesis 24, but that the person that was with her from the time she was a baby, the only way we will allow Rebecca to go with you now and not stay the 10 days, the only way is that this person that's been with her from she was a baby, that's still with her now as a grown woman, has to go too. Are y'all following along? That's what's happening. Although it's not written, it's implied. Most likely there was a ketubah, which is a contract. You read about that in the book of Tobit, where there was an instrument of covenants written. There's negotiations that goes on when you get married to a woman. When the whole process of, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that your woman's gonna have to give her have to give her those gifts that we saw, give the family the gifts, whatever, and there's a negotiation that goes on. I'm not about to send my daughter with you to another country, all the way someplace else, halfway across the globe, by herself. And you just came here and said, Abraham said, bring her. No, I'm gonna send her, but I'm gonna send this woman that's been with her from the time she was born. This is not implying that Rebecca was a child. The nurse was with her until the day she died. It's a lifelong caregiver. She was Rebecca's lifelong caregiver. Deborah may have nursed Rebecca during her infancy, yes, and subsequently remained her trusted attendant for life. These are rich people. In the Middle Ages, you had women that were called ladies in waiting. Anybody that was royalty, they waited on you hand and foot from the time you was a baby, even into your adulthood. They waited on you hand and foot. It was the same person that did that from the time you were a baby till the time you were older. This is not saying that Rebecca was a baby. This is not saying that Abraham or Isaac was marrying a baby. No, it's not saying that. Stupid. She provided familiarity and emotional support. Rebecca was permanently leaving her family and traveling to an unfamiliar land, a whole different country, to marry a man she never met. So in the negotiations, yeah, she'll go with you. We're not going to wait the 10 days, but her nurse, the person that's been with her from the time she was born, has to go too. She served as a female companion and attendant. Although Abraham served and traveled with other men, sending Rebecca without a trusted woman, there was nothing but men in that caravan that Abraham sent. Now you have a woman to watch over the other woman. Sending Rebecca without a trusted woman from a household would have been unusual. Her presence reflected Rebecca's family status. Abraham's servant had brought servants and 10 camels, and Rebekah likewise came from an established household and was not necessarily expected to travel or manage her new home entirely alone. She preserved a connection to Rebekah's original family. Deborah would have known Rebekah's upbringing, her family customs, and her personal history. Probably later she would even have assisted in childbirth, being a midwife and child rearing. Rebekah eventually gave birth to Jacob and Esau. An experienced household woman could serve as an attendant, counselor, and caretaker across generations. This is 10 chapters after Jacob and Esau were born. This is why her nurse stayed with her. This is not implying that Rebekah was underage when she was taken to be wife of Isaac. Is not saying that. You just have a Western mindset, so you can't think. You're stupid. If somebody's still lost, I'll help you some more. This is what our women did for Esau. This is from a thesis submitted for a doctoral degree. The name of the article is called Mother, Home, Mammy, Motherhood, Race, and Power in the Antebellum South. Let's get right to it. It says the personalism and paternalism was often expressed at the death of a slave. And slaveholders were more likely to express attachment, affection, and sadness for slaves at their deaths than any other time. Ellen Mordecai, for example, wrote to her sister Margaret from their family home near Raleigh, North Carolina in 1842 to express her sadness that their old nurse, meaning the person that literally raised her from birth all the way up to adulthood, had died. This is not new. Somebody being called your nurse does not imply that you are a child. No, it doesn't mean that at all. Ellen had lost her mother as a child. So this Helen had lost her mother as a child. So guess what? The slave was her mother. It's the only mother she knew. From literally sucking on her breasts through adolescence, all the way up through her teens to adulthood, the slave is the only mother she knew. That's Rebekah. So her nurse coming with her does not imply that she was a child at all. Let's move on. We're on page 116 of the same book. It says the sheer time enslaved women spent mothering white children. That's what this nurse did for Rebekah. Mothered her. The sheer time enslaved women spent mothering white children is reflected in their charges attachment. So these white children became attached to the black women that were nursing them and raising them, and sometimes mothering them more than their own mamas. If we understand it in antebellum slavery, why can't we understand it in the Bible? Why are we trying to pretend like this is saying that Rebekah was actually a child to make it seem like the grown men were taking advantage of little girls? That's not what it's saying. It's not what it's saying. It says the sheer time enslaved women spent mothering white children is reflected in their charges attachments. A young Cynthia Sills, for example, remarked in 1847 that a white child, Bob, calls Mary his nurse ma. So Bob, whoever Bob is, this white boy, looked at the slave that raised him as his mom. That's how Rebekah looked at her nurse. It's not implying that she was a child. Is everybody with me? Before I go further, time to come back to the chat. If y'all followed along on that, put one in the chat. I want to make sure. I told y'all today was information overload. I told y'all you should take notes. I told y'all, because people teach it. People try to challenge us with these things, which is funny to me because it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's crazy. Y'all all right? Y'all awake? Okay, I want to make sure now. It's crazy. All right. So it's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For those of y'all that have to go to other rooms, y'all know what to do. But we're going to keep on. We're going to go to hour number 3. Unless y'all want me to stop. I don't know. But if y'all want me to go to hour number 3, I'll go to hour number 3. Because we still got a lot to go. A lot to go. So now we're moving back. Now we're done with the dummy detour again. We can come back because we're supposed to be talking about family. But every time we start talking about family, somebody thinks something dumb. Somebody says something dumb. So we got to cut it. We got to cut it. All right. So now we're at Exodus chapter 1. We came into Egypt as a family. So starting from Adam all the way through Noah, all the way through Abraham, all the way through now up to Jacob, the theme in the Bible, the central theme is family. Being the man and the woman and the children and the community and the nation. It's family centered. This is Exodus chapter 1 verse 1. It says, now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was already in Egypt. Verse 6, and Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, same thing the Most High told Adam and Eve to be. So we see the same central theme throughout the scriptures. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty. Why could they wax mighty? Because that central family unit was intact. And the land was filled with them. So we came into Egypt as a family. Let's jump over 11 chapters later to Exodus chapter 12. We left Egypt as a family. It says, now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass that all the host of Egypt went out from the land of Egypt. There's a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. That is that night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generation. So we left Egypt as a family. So the family unit has always been intact from the time of Adam all the way through the leaving of Egypt. This is Leviticus 18, starting from verse number 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the lands of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. So don't follow the Egyptians that you left behind. Don't follow the Canaanites that's going to be in the land that you're going to see. Don't follow what they do. So what should we do? Verse 4. Ye shall do my judgments, keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Verse 5. And ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. So the idea was for us to continually prosper as a people, keep the commandments. Seems pretty simple to me. And then we come to Deuteronomy chapter 28, where now the family is cursed, because now we're bringing it up to date. The blueprint has already been set. But now the family unit is cursed. Why? Because we didn't keep the commandments. That was the mandate. Keep the commandments. That's how you prosper. This is Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. just to get the context so we understand who Moses was speaking to. It says, "These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness, in the plains over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dizahab." So now we have the audience who's Moses is speaking to. We're going to jump all the way to chapter 28. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1, it says, "And it shall come to pass if somebody is lost at who the thou is," that's why I have chapter 1 verse 1 there. The thou is Israel. "And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth." So we were told that if we followed what God said, we're above everybody else. So that implies everybody's not equal on the earth. "And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God." Jumping down to verse number 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." So, as Elder Zahab taught a couple of weeks ago, choices were set in front of us. You got to choose. If you choose wrong, there are consequences. Spoiler alert, we chose wrong. Jumping down to verse number 53. It says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee." So Deuteronomy 28 is cyclical. It's describing different curses that will fall upon the Israelites at different times during different captivities when we broke God's laws. So in this particular circumstance, we became cannibals. Like, the other nations surrounded our cities where we were not able to get food or whatever like that, and we wound up just becoming cannibals. Parents literally eating their children, being cannibals. This happened to us. Verse 54, "So that the man that is tender amongst you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother," which it is. We see that today. "And towards the wife of his bosom," we see that today. The man will lay with the women. The woman will get pregnant, and the man doesn't even want to be a father to the children. "And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." A lot of men don't want to be fathers. You'll lay with a woman right up until the time of being a father, and then you don't want to be a father. "So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat." Again, this is going into other captivities, not necessarily America, "because he have nothing left him in the siege and the straitness wherewith thy enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates." Verse 56. "The tender and delicate woman amongst you, which would not adventure to set the soles of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness." This is like a allegory or a metaphor. Our women were so tender and delicate, it's saying, that they didn't even want to walk. Like, you had to carry them on your shoulders. They were too good to walk. That's how feminine and delicate they were. "Her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom," which we see today. "And towards her son," you ain't shit, you just like your father. "And towards her daughter," you're not shit either. I see women calling their own daughters the B word. Like, I see women in competition with their daughters. It's crazy. "And towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, For she shall eat them for all the want of all things. So again, this is going into certain captivities, not necessarily America, where in some captivities, our women were so evil towards their children. Again, when the famine came, they ate their children, just like the men. But in this captivity, our women are in competition with their daughters and their sons. They don't care about their daughters or their sons. It's sad. It's sad. So the sister wants to know what happened next. Well, we're going to go from ancient times, we're going to bring it up to modern times for this last hour as we close out. I don't know how many of you brothers and sisters know about a time in American history called the Gilded Age. But that was post-slavery and post-Reconstruction, so the early 1900s. You had a time called the Gilded Age. And during the Gilded Age, you had something that was created called the Talented Tenth. It was put forward by W.E.B. Du Bois, Henry Minton, and others. It's called the Talented Tenth. And I'm going to play a video here so you guys can understand what the Talented Tenth is if you don't know. But before I do, let's just read what I have written here. Today's Talented Tenth will consist of your politicians, your millionaires, whether they got their millions through entertainment or sports or music, your millionaires. Or your influencers. For example, your Jason Whitlock, who is a coon. Or your Officer Tatum, who's a coon. Or your Anton Daniels, who's a coon. Or the Hodge twins, who are white men that look like black people. Or your Myron Gaines, who's a Hamite who looks like black people. Who is your Talented Tenth? These are black people that get in amongst the white people. The idea of the Talented Tenth was to, you guys can see it right here, lift as we climb. So we sent a certain amount of our people amongst the white people that was supposed to get in. And the idea was they would get in, they would ingratiate themselves amongst the white people. The white people would see that these are, you know what I'm saying, black people are just like them. We're not, you know what I'm saying, criminals. We're not slaves. We're not stupid, whatever. You get in amongst them, and then you lift your people up as well. That's what you're supposed to do. As I climb, let's say I'm part of the Talented Tenth, right? As I climb up the social ladder, the corporate ladder, whatever it is, I'm supposed to be lifting people as I climb. That's how it's supposed to be. But what wind up happening is the Talented Tenth, once they got amongst the white people, they turned into coons and they turned against their people, just like Jason Whitlock, just like Officer Tatum, just like Anton Daniels, etc. That's what they did. They got a taste of the money, the affluence, the wealth, whatever, and they became just like their oppressors. Let's watch the video.
And this is like, they're the first generation of people. A lot of them were slaves and now they're free. White people are not okay with this. It's not like everybody's like, oh yeah, you earned it, good for you. Like, they're under duress at all times. So they're living by this mandate of lift as we climb. The saying is everywhere. It's a huge part of the strategy that the race has come up with during a time when they literally had to move in next door to the people who used to enslave them. So it's like not a good time. So they think like, okay, how are we going to change this? How are we going to make things better for ourselves? And W.B. Du Bois and a lot of people come up with this idea of the Talented Tenth. And they're like, all right, we need y'all to go in there, be as respectable and as elegant and educated as possible to put these white people at ease and show them that, like, see, I'm a human just like you. See my hands? You can't really reason. You have to be like, it's okay. It's okay. Or you have to just fight, but they're outnumbered. So the first families, they're exclusive. If you're wealthy and black, but you're coming to DC from like Philly or New York or Detroit, they call you a foreigner or a stranger. And if you're poor or uneducated and black, they don't call you anything at all. So, like, just to put it in perspective, there's like 230,000 people in DC at this time. 75,000 or 32% of them are black. And then 400 of the 75,000 are members of the first families.
Okay, so it's giving literal talented 10.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's what we're talking about here, is the talented 10. So the talented 5th, really. So yes, you're having to like overcompensate, overprove, overdo all these things. And the idea is if we send y'all in there to do that, then white people will be put at ease, and then go around to the back of the club, open the door, and then you're going to let all the rest of us in. Here's what the strategy didn't account for. It's hard to be in something, but not of it.
What did Audre Lorde say? Master's house, master's tools, etc.
Yes. So the talented 10 start to adopt the traditions and the customs of the elites they're meant to be imitating, and then they come back to the black community and are these enforcers of.
That's Jason Whitlock. That's Officer Tatum. That's Anton Daniels. Y'all, if y'all thought it was new, it's not. Now you understand. That's what W.E.B. Du Bois was. That's what Henry Minton was and others. The Black Boule. Right? That's what they did. It's the same thing today. They have a buffer class between us and them. And these coons that's supposed to lift as we climb, that's supposed to open the back door and let us in, turn against us. Because they're incentivized to do so. Nothing is new.
The politics of respectability and brutal critics of anybody that doesn't comply.
Ooh, I wonder if that had any long-term consequences.
You know what I keep thinking? I'm like, you create a strategy that'll really work for you, but then, we just kept the same exact strategy for like hundreds of years. We didn't update it, as like modern people. I think we're trying to update it now, but it's so hard for me to judge them ever because I'm like, it did work. I am here.
Yeah, it's also this thing of like, if you're barely one generation out of being enslaved, I'm gonna have sympathy.
I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy because if you understand history, you know that W.E.B. Du Bois was a fierce critic and opponent of Marcus Garvey, right? And what Marcus Garvey was doing. So yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. We're not about to make excuses for these guys. These guys are demons, man. These guys are demons. Let's move on.
And this is
the book of Hosea, chapter 4, starting from verse number 1. It says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land." Verse 2, "By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away." Verse 4, "Yet let no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests." And that's what our people do. They strive with the priests. When we go out the highways and the byways, they strive with us. Even though we're telling them what's good for them, they don't want to hear it. Verse 5, "Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother." The people that's telling you nothing's going to happen to you, they're going to fall too. Verse 6, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge," which our people do when we go out on the highways and byways, we're on clubhouse and open rooms. "Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of God." So why is all this happening to us? Because we don't follow God's laws, because the Christian church says God's laws is done away with. So as a result of us believing that, all these things are going to happen to us. We're going to be destroyed. "Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children."
But why are the black youth so out of control? The next statistic I want to bring up is fatherlessness, which has a clear causal link with criminality. Despite blacks in the 1940s suffering literal segregation and vastly higher poverty rates, their families were much stronger.
Did y'all catch that? During the time when we were the most oppressed, our families were the strongest because we had to stay together. That's the idea.
Back then, only 15 to 19% of...
And once again, why do y'all think out of nowhere things like this just happened? Like, you think, oh yeah, they just got out of this out of nowhere. During this time, these people were so strategic with things that they started to do. We could talk about the Welfare Act. It's not the act, but basically, if you wanted help from the government, you would have to kick the black man out of the home. So you could use that as a reason why things kind of went down moving past the 1940s. Once again, they don't take account things such as mass incarceration or these chemical warfare, the crack epidemic, the heroin that ended up messing up these homes.
So all those things were engineered to destroy the family. The thing that made us strong, that's why we started from Adam. The thing that made us strong was destroyed. This brother said that these pictures that he's showing brought him to tears. This is the way that it used to be in our community when we were strong, because we had to be strong. We had to stay together.
My eyes watered up watching this video of Black America before welfare, before gang culture. This was the black community in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting with the evening come.
What happened to us, man?
Watching the ships roll in, then I watch them roll away.
Even in the middle of segregation, we built multiple successful black communities and economies all around America, known as Black Wall Streets. In these communities, black people owned the land. We owned every house and every business on the land. We owned the bus lines. We owned the movie theaters. We owned the grocery stores. We owned the libraries. We owned the schools. We owned the law.
And the common thread is that at these times when we were doing this, we were following the biblical blueprint, which is the nuclear family was still intact. That's the idea. We're still here. I know we done took a lot of dummy detours, but we're still here. Unlike modern pictures, the majority of these pictures, there's a man in every picture. Just about every picture. Look at how we dressed. This is Psalms chapter 94, verse 20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity, throne represents rulership or dominion, have fellowship with thee. So those that are in power, which frameth mischief by law. So now we're coming to another part of the PowerPoint. What destroyed those beautiful images where there was always the nuclear family intact in our community when we were doing great, even under oppression? Even under Jim Crow, even under Reconstruction, even under segregation, we were still prospering. What destroyed that? The answer is laws. Laws that were passed in state legislatures and Congress that destroyed our family unit. They framed mischief by law. They sat down in these think tanks and thought about it. How do we destroy these people? So it can seem that they can never come back. We'll destroy the family. And we'll encode it in laws. Listen.
Welfare departments claim that they want to encourage marriage and thus get women off the welfare rolls. But the investigation of a woman's eligibility for ADC discourages the beginning of any relationship with a man.
Oh, you can't have a boyfriend. We don't allow that.
Now, I want to say this. The Bible doesn't provide for boyfriends either, but the idea is the man that you lay with that impregnates you, you're supposed to stay with him. That's the idea. What she's saying when she said we can't have a boyfriend, meaning that the guy that I slept with, they got me pregnant, I got to get rid of him if I want help. That's what she's saying. Go back a little bit.
Relationship with a man.
Oh, you can't have a boyfriend. We don't allow that. And I wanted to know why. And she said, because it doesn't look right, with the kids. And so I said, I still don't see why they have anything to do with me with a boyfriend.
And why doesn't having a man around look good with the kids? Who thinks of these things? Anyway.
And she said, well, you'll have to get rid of him. Well, we doesn't allow the ADC mothers with boyfriend. And I couldn't understand that. So she left. When she left, well, then she come back to tell me that my case was denied. This is what happened. She come back to tell me that they had denied me, that I could not get on aid.
Brenda is 19.
So she was denied because there was a man around. So Esau said, since there's a man around, you're denied.
Unmarried, and she has just had a baby. She's learning to care for him on her own. She's trying to get a job to support him, and she lives with her aunt, who has 5 children of her own. Money was the reason she decided not to marry Kenneth, the father of her child.
Money was the reason she decided not to marry Kenneth, the father of her child. So she lay with him. She allowed him to impregnate her. She had his children. But because money, that's where the line is drawn. No, the line's supposed to be drawn before you lay with him. But the way that the system socializes our people, it's okay to lay with him. It's okay to get pregnant by him. But just don't marry him because he don't got no money. Our people are finished, man. This is social engineering. This is crazy, man.
I mean, I would have married him, for while I was carrying the baby, but he had no job and couldn't support us, and his sister getting married. So my sister getting married.
So, and this is the destruction of the family also removes the mother figures that's supposed to tell her, no, ma'am, no, young lady, you don't sleep with him if you don't have a conversation where you understand that if you sleep with him and you get pregnant, he could take care of the kids. The conversation was never had. There was nobody, male or female, to tell her that's a conversation that you have before you lay with him, not after you lay with him, not after you get pregnant. That's a before conversation. She's trying to figure things out after. No, it's crazy.
I said, wait. So after he started working, worked more than he been working, then I married him.
I want y'all to see this is 1965. We're in 2026. Are y'all hearing anything different than what we hear today? I'm not. I'm not hearing anything different in 1965 than I'm hearing in 2026. Our people are in the same predicament today. It's because of the laws that have been passed. This is when they were passed. Right? And back then, it wasn't as prevalent as it is today. It wasn't a 70% almost clip of our sisters raising children by themselves. Not back then. But the progression has happened over years where that's where it is now. It's because of the laws that were passed back then. Let's move on.
They incentivized destruction of black families.
And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away so that mother and children can eat.
So when we were strong in the Bible, we prospered. When we broke God's laws, the Bible says the father would, what in Deuteronomy 28, he would leave his children. That's what we're watching.
They incentivized destruction of black families.
And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away so that mother and children can eat.
85% of the head of household is a woman.
So, I don't know, now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 70-something. In 1973, she said it was 80-something. Now, I don't think she did no research, so we're not going to lean too heavily on the numbers she's saying. What I want you guys to take away from what she's saying is that the same conditions that existed 50-something years ago, 1973 was what, 53 years ago, about, give or take? The same conditions that existed 53 years ago still exist today. It's the same thing. It's just worse now than ever before.
They incentivized destruction of black families.
And partly because of the general rule that welfare is cut off if there is a man in the house, fathers are often driven away so that mother and children can eat.
85% of the head of household is a woman, because most of the men who should be in the household, they cannot make a decent living. And of course it is better to know that a child will be fed 12 months out of the year than 3 months, which during the summer when construction work you can make a decent living.
Did y'all catch that? So what she's saying is that the men, based on the jobs that were available, could only work in the summer and the spring months where they could go do construction, whatever. But outside of that, there weren't a lot of jobs for the men, our men, Israelite men, back then. So the woman was incentivized not to keep the man around because he probably could only get a job 3 months out the year to make decent money. You're better off being in bed with the state, with the government. To hell with him. This is when we became weak. There was a time on television, I want to go back real quick. There was a time on television. Let's come back to what she said.
Often driven away can eat.
I want you guys to see this is 1973. Y'all see that? I know I'm kind of going back a lot. Y'all bear with me, it's okay. Y'all are learning. This is 1973. When she was saying that 80-something, she said in this video, 85% of households were headed by the women, right? A year later, y'all, in 1974, I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Because y'all going to figure it out now. This is the year I was born, 1974. That's when I was born. 1 year later, on television, there was a TV show called Claudine, where they show you in entertainment what the sister said a year ago for real. This is when some truth actually made it to TV. So you guys are going to see that the government is doing a welfare system check on TV, in a comedy, in a sitcom, whatever. It's supposed to be funny, with entertaining, but it's not. They're telling you the truth. The government is doing a wellness check or a welfare check on a household to make sure that there's no man there. And who is it? It's us on TV. They're telling you that this is what they were pushing. Pay attention. A year later, after she said what she said, they put it on TV and tell you that's how it goes.
The social worker's here. Oh, shit. Honey, get rid of the TV and hide.
You can't have nothing nice. They hiding all the nice stuff, and the man has to hide too.
social worker. Well, don't just stand there, honey. Let her in. Hi, kid.
And it's Esau, of course, it's Esau.
Hi. How are you, Mrs. Price? Oh, just fine. Fine. But, you know, they haven't sent me the authorization to buy the food stamps for the past 6 months. And then they cut me off for non-purchase. Now, Miss K back.
Did y'all catch that?
Non-purchase. Now, Miss K
Hold
back.
up.
They
Sorry,
cut me
y'all.
off for non-
Right there. The man is hiding. He can't be in the house. So we heard the sister in the video before say that we thought she's just talking. No, in popular culture, they put it in there. He couldn't be in the house. For real.
Purchase. Now, Miss K back. Why do they keep messing with me all the time? Ah, the kid system's one big screw up. Well, I'm glad to hear you say it, because no one...
And he got caught.
You're the gentleman that's been keeping company here.
Oh, no matter. I'm just a garbage man.
Oh, well, may I have your name, please?
Simpson.
First name?
That's my first name.
Oh, your surname?
X.
Simpson X what?
Simpson X. That's it.
Well, you gotta watch the whole thing. We're not here to be entertained. I wanted to show you guys. This is not just us talking. This is how it went. This is the systematic destruction of what the Most High instituted from the beginning, that we were always successful when we had it. Esau said we got to get rid of that. We have to get rid of that. Yeah. So, if you're not from New York, and some of y'all are young, so even if you are from New York, you don't know this guy. This guy is the devil right here. His name is Daniel Patrick Moynihan. He's a senator from New York. And in 1965, he wrote a report called the Moynihan Report. The Negro Family and the Case for National Action. I'm gonna let the sister break it down, and I'm gonna give some commentary on it. Let's go.
You ever notice how when people talk about poverty in the black community, it always turns into a conversation about fatherless homes or broken families?
Which is just one dimension of the Negro family, which I spoke about. But she's going to go into another dimension. Listen.
Yeah, that wasn't on accident. That came straight out of a government report in 1965, written by a white man named Daniel Patrick Moynihan, and it changed how this country talked about us forever. Moynihan was working for the Department of Labor when he dropped this report. It was called The Negro Family, the Case for National Action, and it sounded like concern. It sounded like he wanted to help. But what he really did was develop a whole new way to blame us for what America did. He said the reason that black people were struggling wasn't racism. It wasn't discrimination. It wasn't redlining. It wasn't underfunded schools or stolen wealth. He said it was our families.
So he skipped everything else and said it's the family structure that why we're struggling, which has a level of truth to it. That's what we've been talking about. That's somewhat true. Listen.
Specifically, black women heading households. He said that black poverty came from a tangle of pathology, like we were defective, like being poor was a moral issue, not a structural one. And that report made it all the way to Lyndon B. Johnson. It was used to justify cutting welfare programs, underfunding housing, and pushing the idea that if we just fixed the family, we could fix poverty. That's where the whole welfare queen myth came from. That's where Reagan got his talking points. That's where the whole personal responsibility narrative started. The same ones politicians still use to gaslight poor and working class people today. The Moynihan Report didn't just get read, it got weaponized. Black leaders tried to stop it. James Baldwin called it out. The Urban League called it out. The NAACP called it out. But the government and the media loved it because it gave them language that sounded intellectual but still managed to blame us for everything. And that's why now, even decades later, you'll hear people, black and white, repeating his logic without realizing where it came from. The problem in our community is the home. The fathers need to come back. Nah. The problem is a system that broke our homes and then told the world that we were broken.
So the fathers didn't leave the house on their own. The system caused the fathers to leave. Family court caused the fathers to leave. Drugs caused the fathers to leave. Welfare caused the fathers to leave. It's the system. This idea of black men or Hispanic men, Native American men not wanting to take care of their children is fake. The system created this. That's what it did.
By the 1980s, Reagan used that same framing to justify cutting social programs. By the 90s, Clinton used it to push welfare reform. By the 2000s, it turned into sound bites about family values. So when you hear people talk about single mothers, crime, or welfare, like it's all about choice and not circumstance, that's Moynihan's ghost talking. A white man's report written in 1965 that convinced America that our biggest problem wasn't oppression, it was us. The Moynihan Report wasn't just a study, it was a setup. It rewired how this country talks about race and responsibility. It told America it didn't have to fix the systems, it just needed to fix us. And that's the lie still echoing every time they say the problem in the black community is the family. Because no, the problem has always been the system.
Because the system is what destroyed the family. The sister's on point. Her channel is great. I should have probably gave y'all a link. All her videos are good. 100% of her videos are good. She does a great job. Shout out to her.
You ever know?
So to summarize what Daniel Patrick Moynihan's report was, it's called something called benign neglect. That's what it's called. And you guys could do more research on this. I'm not going to give y'all everything. Just giving y'all the Cliff Notes. To summarize his report, it's called benign neglect. What is benign neglect? It's the policy or attitude of intentionally ignoring a situation or problem or responsibility, meaning Esau socially engineered the problems in our community and then just ignores it. You know what I'm saying? Or tries to find a scapegoat to blame it on. It's actually the system that created the problems in our community. Yes, you could focus on the family and say the man is not there, which we focused on earlier. That's true. But the man did not leave the family because he wanted to leave the family. The man did not leave the family because he's irresponsible. No. The circumstances, the situation was socially engineered where the man left the family for a lot of reasons, which is the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28. The man will leave his children, right? That's there. That was created. And now rather than focus on the system itself, you want to focus on the fact that the men are not there. But why? Why? Why is the man not there? Let's move on. I don't like this guy. This is Charlie Kirk. I personally don't like this guy. This guy is a demon. But a broken clock is right twice a day. And even this devil, him, admitted that the problems in our community is the lack of the family unit. What he doesn't talk about is who created that, who socialized or engineered that. It wasn't us. Psalm 64 verse 8, it says, so shall they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. So this is Esau telling on themselves. Listen.
What caused Black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the world?
Wait. Why are you stopping the priest? I want y'all to meditate on that. Yes, we know that he was racist, whatever. But did you hear what he said? The family unit, that's why we, for the last over 2 hours, almost 3 hours, I painstakingly went through how the family unit has always been our strength. Did you hear him? What he said? The black, when he says black, I'm talking about Black, Hispanic, Native American, Israelites. Family unit was one of the strongest. That's when we were great. It was one of the strongest. They admit that. Now you can look with your eyes and see our family unit today is one of the weakest. Just put everything together. It's not hard. He's telling you, when it was strong, there wasn't all these problems with us. Now that it's weak, there's all these problems with us. I don't like him, but he's not wrong about this.
What caused Black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
Well, one of the weakest by far. Getting the man the hell out of here. That's what.
And like what my point, what I was trying to say is, I don't think that we're doing enough to help these Black communities catch up. Where as like they're underfunded and they're not.
I want y'all to pay attention. This guy's talking about giving them money and all these other things, and even the devil is saying no. It's the nuclear family unit. I promise I'm going to bring it back. I ain't going to interrupt it this time. I want y'all to see that. Even the devil is telling you, no, it's the nuclear family unit. When the Black family, again, Black, Hispanic, Native American, Israelite, was a nuclear family unit, they were strong. They were immovable. It's not about money. It's not about underfunding. Those things do matter. Don't get it twisted. But it's not about that. It's about the nuclear family unit. Everything else is secondary. Even the devil is telling this guy this, and he can't get it. I promise I'll play it through. I ain't gonna say nothing.
What caused Black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
And like what my point, what I was trying to say is, I don't think that we're doing enough to help these Black communities catch up. Where as like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yes.
Like,
I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview than stuff and over policing. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in Black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
So it's all about going from 25% single mothers to 75% in 50 years. You destroy the nuclear family unit, the frame of that, and everything else goes downhill. That's what he's saying. I don't like this devil, but he's right.
What?
But maybe you don't like him, so we'll have another devil to tell you the same thing. Listen.
During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the government introduced WIC and Section 8 housing, and they reintroduced food stamps. They knew that the civil rights movement was only going to be successful if the Black man and the Black woman were working together, and that's what was happening. So they knew that they had to introduce these programs to replace the Black man, because how else do you kill your enemy but then by to chop off its head? So they knew if they removed the Black man from the Black family that they would ultimately stop the civil rights movement. At least that's what they thought. So by telling the Black woman that she doesn't need a man, they're going to provide for her. Not even a decade later, we made a war on drugs, and what that did was make misdemeanor charges, and it turned them into felony charges, making it virtually impossible for the Black man to get a job and support his family. Listen, until Black lives matter, no life matters.
So I have no commentary on that. It speaks for itself. They're telling you this is what they did. Is an attack on the family, which God ordained from the beginning, and that was our downfall. That's it. And then your man Lyndon B. Johnson said something very interesting. President Johnson that became president after Kennedy was assassinated. This is his words. It says, if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice that you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. So the powers that should not be socially engineered these things where Black people are doing what they're doing. They take the foul out the house. Our community is going degenerate, destroyed, right? Whatever it is. They do that on purpose, and then the lowest of the low white men, like these devils right here that we're about to play, start looking down on black people like we're better than you. You're really not. But we understand. We understand exactly. We've taken the red pill, so we know exactly what's going on. You a pawn, just like we're a pawn. Stupid. Listen to these devils, man.
The way Negroes care for their children. About 1/4 of whites say that Negroes are less likely than whites to take good care of their children.
The colored woman does not take care of her child, does not help to educate this child. There's no
Did y'all catch that? I'm sorry. They took the man, listen. They took the man out the house through social engineering, family court, etc. And then these devils are judging our women and saying that they don't raise the children right. Stupid. You took the man out the house. That's why. That's part of the reason why.
The way Negroes care for their children. About 1/4 of whites say that Negroes are less likely than whites to take good care of their children.
The colored woman does not take care of her child, does not help to educate this child. There's no problem about it. They're ADC. The more children they can have, the more money they get to go out and play the lottery. They get more money to go out and drink a little more gin. But to take care of the children, put a pair of shoes on them. I blame the mother for not educating her child when they're born.
That's the problem. You blaming the women, devil. Meanwhile, you're the ones that got the man out the house, so she has to do it by herself. Through social engineering, devil. That's what they did.
From the day they're born till the day they grow up.
Lower intelligence. 1 out of 4 whites also believe Negro children are more likely to hold back the class.
When you were in school, your mother made sure you did your homework before you went out. A colored child, if mother and father don't care if they ever do their homework.
And I feel that this is why the white child is so much more superior to the colored. And not because the colored child doesn't want to learn. It's because there's nobody behind him pushing him.
Well, because you got the father out the house. So now the mother has to go to work and take care of the household by herself. So she cannot be around. So that creates a generation of latchkey children where there's no parent, the father's out the house, the mother's at work, so the child has to come home by themselves, want their food by themselves, do everything by themselves, do their homework by themselves, intrinsically, because there's no adults home. You created that, devil. You created that. Don't think we don't know. You created that.
Lower intelligence. About 1 white in 7 agrees that Negroes have lower intelligence at birth than whites.
We're not all created equal. And as far as intelligence, there is a little book called Breeding Down, and it says in there where the colored is born with an IQ, not born, but it develops.
It develops through social engineering, you devil. I'm not going to play because time is getting away from me, so I don't want to go for too long. I don't want it to be 4 hours, so I can play the whole thing, but y'all get the idea. I wanted y'all to see that. This stuff is created, man.
Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farm, and they keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good and that he is not deserving of respect, he is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them. They did not tell us that all of that of being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism.
So I want you guys to, if y'all are taking notes, as I told y'all, those of y'all that have been here from the beginning, if y'all taking notes, I want you guys to type, y'all put in this your notes this word, the Homestead Acts. The Homestead Acts. We're gonna come out for a second. I'm not gonna read it right now. But I'm gonna open up another window. We're gonna look at the Homestead Acts. And I'm gonna have you guys do your own homework. What Scheherazade is talking about is that white farmers, who are these white farmers? These are white farmers that are not American, per se. After slavery was over, you had white people that were immigrating from Europe to America. And America gave these white Europeans grants and money and endowments, whatever word you want to use, to open up farms in the Midwest. And because they were not familiar with farming in the Midwest, they founded a lot of those colleges that you call A&M, like Texas A&M, this A&M, that A&M. These are agricultural colleges that were opened up for white Europeans that were not American, to teach them how to farm lands in the Midwest, while at the same time telling former slaves to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. We're not giving you 40 acres and a mule. That's what they're doing. That's what Scheherazade is talking about. These are the Homestead Acts. You guys do your own research. I'm not about to do it for you. That just came to me. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer. They keep that family together.
That's the Homestead Acts. They don't tell her to get rid of her white husband for the farm. They keep them together. That's the Homestead Acts. That's what I just showed y'all. All right? Y'all do your own research on that. All right. We're coming to almost the close of the class. Right? We've been going for 3 hours. We're going to probably go for a little bit more. But I want to warn y'all, the following slides are disturbing. So I want you guys to put in y'all spiritual seatbelts, because everybody's not going to feel too good about the slides I'm about to show you. So you might want to strap in first. Okay. I don't know if most of you guys seen this video. This is what happened when a man is moved out the house. I don't know if you guys saw this video, but this is the first day of school. This is their mama. I want you guys to see these young girls. This young girl is in the first grade. She's probably 5 or 6 years old. She's in the first grade. Her sister, you can't see her face, is in the 4th grade. And her mama recorded this and put it on social media. I want you guys to look at this right here. Again, if you're sensitive, you should leave, because this is going to bother you for sure. If you haven't already seen it. If you're not, but if you, it's okay. We're going to watch this. And we're going to talk about it. This is the first day of school. Y'all pay attention. Listen.
What'd you say? Don't.
You missed it. She asked her daughter, "What you say?" This little girl that's in the 1st grade said, "Don't F with me." And mama laughed like it was funny. Let's go back. Let's go back.
What'd you say? Don't. Oh, shit. Okay, y'all. What is Gibby?
4th grade.
What grade you going to?
4th grade.
Okay, 4th grade, 1st grade. Thank you. It's some Barbies. Let me see your eyes. Ooh. Ooh, tell them this shit stamper.
You can remember in my chain.
Ooh. Choo check. Let me see how y'all coming. Okay. Oh. Oh. What the fuck? Oh. Oh. Y'all so pretty. Who y'all mama?
Them kids don't have a chance, man. They don't have a chance, man. They're already cooked. She's in 1st grade. She's in 4th grade. They're already cooked. I'm sorry. I'm just being real with y'all. They're already cooked, man. I mean, maybe some of y'all have some hope. I don't know. Maybe they can hear the gospel. I don't know. But right now, outside of hearing the gospel, this girl at 5 or 6 years old in 1st grade, she's cooked. This girl in the 4th grade, cooked. They'll never be wives. No man will ever take them seriously. They'll probably be baby moms like the mother. It's a cook. No man is gonna commit to this at all. No man of value was going to commit to this at all.
What'd you say?
Now you might think that's a one-off. No. Now we didn't see the mama before. This is the mama right here. Now you get to see her. Now you know where it comes from. As is the mother, so is the daughter. That's what Ezekiel said. As is the mother, so is the daughter. Here's the mama right here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hold up. Let's make it a little bigger. Because this is ridiculous. My goodness. This is ridiculous. This is where his sickness comes from. This is the mom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Disclosure for what I'm about to say. And I don't disrespect people or their children until you disrespect me and my children. Because
nobody disrespected you. People in the chat telling you, and by the way, if y'all want to, somebody might want to see her. This is her TikTok page. It's Ambition, the Black Barb. So some of y'all may want to go check on her. Her page is disgusting. It's disgusting. I went there. So that's where I got this from. It's disgusting. Not just her, but her and these children. It's disgusting. Okay? And what she's about to tell you is she's doubling down on her children being ratchet like that. When y'all said priests are being too hard, they're not cooked. They're cooked.
good morning.
Good morning.
Disclosure for what I'm about to say. And I don't disrespect people or their children until you disrespect me and my children. Because guess what? I'm somebody's children and these are my children. So when you speak on them, you speak on me. And when you speak on me, you speak on them. So let's do it. It's our turn. And I hope y'all know when y'all ready to talk shit and voice y'all motherfucking opinions, I hope y'all ready to go to war about it. I hope y'all ready to die about it. Because behind mine, I'm ready to do all that.
I can't take anymore, y'all. Y'all can go watch the rest. I can't take anymore. Let's go to the next slide. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I interrupted it. I just can't take it anymore. As if this next video is any better. Because it's not. This is because it's not. I would venture to say this next video is worse. Now I gotta say, I gotta give y'all just a I gotta be honest with y'all, y'all family. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This shit right here, if there's children listening, I'm sorry for cursing. But this shit right here will bring violence out of me. It just would. Heads would roll. I gotta hit somebody. The Bible teaches about putting hands on your children. I have to put hands on the children. Whatever I gotta do to get rid of this, I would do. You may not agree with me. So if you don't agree with me, y'all can put it in the chat. Priest, you're going too far. I'm telling you right now, this right here just requires hands. I don't think there's any words. It requires hands. There has to be some violence to get shit in order. Just to me. Sorry. Y'all may not agree with me. Y'all pray for me if you think I'm wrong.
This here is wild, bro.
Shut the f up.
I can't say kids
Shut your bitch ass up. Shut the hell up.
That's the mother right there in the black shirt. I ain't talking about putting hands on, but these kids? Yeah. Hands for sure. The Bible says I could do that.
This here is wild, bro.
Shut the f up.
I can't say kids
Shut your bitch ass up. Shut the hell up.
Your mother participating with this mess. Bitch, shut the f up. What is going on?
You know your goofy ass to shut the f up, bitch. Shut your bitch ass up. Shut the f up.
That's all I could take. I can't take no more. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't take no more. I just can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm watching this and I'm just. When I was putting it together, I was hot. Like, oh God. It would be, yeah. I'm putting hands on all them kids. I'm sorry, in a good way, because you're gonna learn. And I look at the men, because trust me, in the courting stage, the whole thing we went over earlier, when the man was courting the woman, all that stuff like that, you could see these things in the courting stage. You were never supposed to make this woman a mother. You were never supposed, to the men, we ain't gonna just make it the women thing, we're gonna talk to men. You were never supposed to make this, I'm trying to find a good word. Let me not even say, you were never supposed to make her a mother. Ever. So before I say something that I might regret later, we're going to go to the next slide. We're going to go to the next slide. Hey. The white girls are like, well, hey, Becky, do you think he knows about us? Because I know our sisters are feeling away right away. I want y'all to know this was never an attack on y'all. These white bitches be doing that stuff too. They do it too. It was never about attacking just y'all. This is attacking the modern mentality of destroying the family. That's the idea. These white bitches, white man was a bitch, they do it too. Just so we know. Look at this bird brain Becky right here. She says she allows her children to swear in front of her. Just like you saw the black children doing it, the devil says, which is maybe where we get it from. They say they do this too. I think this is where we get it from. Listen.
Maybe as millennials we let our kids swear because we weren't allowed to swear. We weren't allowed to have free speech at all, so it's just like another cue to authority.
I think it's my opinion, y'all could disagree. I think our women watch white women that think like this and think, yeah, okay, well, they let their kids swear, why shouldn't we? Maybe our parents were too strict to put the long arm of the law to keep the boot on the neck like how they did. So Becky, because most of us growing up know that white people don't put hands on their children, they don't discipline their children with corporal punishment. That started with white people, not us. And we follow behind. So my theory is it was white people first that allowed their children to curse and around them, and we just follow behind. So I want to make it clear, this is not an attack on our women. It starts with Becky every time. There's more. This Becky has a bird for a brain. Listen.
I let my kids curse around me, not at me, around me. Having the freedom to say, fuck this shit, or this is bullshit, gives you a little bit more of a...
If that was me, I'm telling y'all about Priest. Again, y'all judge me in the comments, it's cool. If any of my children, mine, talk like that around me, my hand to your mouth so fast, it's like the Flash. I'm telling you right now, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I let my kids curse around me, not at me, around me. Having the freedom to say, fuck this shit, or this is bullshit, gives you a little bit more of a relief and some emotional regulation than just saying, oh, darn, right? Bob Dammit is much more impactful in sentence enhancing. And I also look at it as teaching them how to cuss around people and not at people is a life skill that they need to have. I would rather them know that now so they are respectful when they say fuck this shit rather than disrespectfully saying fuck you.
What? Anyway.
I feel truly that if I can teach them that now, I won't be bailing them out of jail when they're 20, 21, 22 or whatever, when they're at bars doing stupid shit. I know it's not really a popular parenting hack, but it is for me and it works.
Hey, I'm going to put my hands in the prayer position right now and pray none of my Israelite sisters think like that, because there may be somebody like, you know what, that makes sense. I don't know. I'm going to pray for you. And I want you to pray for me, because any children around me are not going to be allowed to talk like that. I'm telling you now. It's just not. It's not happening. It's not. So this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 6 to 18. It says, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." So, circling back to the beginning of the class, Deuteronomy chapter 28, when we broke God's laws, this is how, or the beginning or the introduction of the family unit being destroyed. The father would leave, and the mother would be neglectful. That's in the scriptures. But still in all, the Most High has not changed. We're his people. And his blueprint for the family has not changed either. And even though we don't follow it, the Most High is not allowed our people to be consumed completely. Verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, going all the way back, like Jeremiah said, or even going all the way back to Moses, ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye say, wherein shall we return? I'm going to skip down just for the sake of time, down to verse 12. It says, and verses 8 through 11 is talking about one example of us going away from the ordinances, which is tithing to the Most High the way we were supposed to. We stopped doing that. But we stopped doing all God's laws. That's the idea. But for the sake of time, let's jump down to verse number 12. It says, and all nations shall call you blessed. For ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord, if we actually follow what God says, his ordinances. Verse 13. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord, yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is in vain to serve the Lord. What profit is that we keep his ordinances, that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. Then they that fear the Lord spake one to another. That's us now. And the Lord hearkened and heard it. The Most High hears what it is that we're doing, our repentance. And a book of remembrance was written before him, for them that fear the Lord. Not all of our people, for those that fear the Lord, and thought upon his name. Verse 17. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between righteous and wicked. And that's what our class was today, to discern between righteous and wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. We're making a difference between ourselves and those that don't want to serve the Most High. We can clearly see it in the behaviors and the actions. That's why we as Israelites, we have to be better. I'm going to land my plane by saying this, to land the class by saying this. We have to be better. As I observe this Israelite community, as long as I've been here, and I look at how brothers and sisters bounce from relationship to relationship to relationship, from one person to another, it shows me that we have not learned this yet. Even though we know we're Israelites, we have not learned this yet. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to leave father and mother, both the man and the woman, and cleave to your spouse. It's not supposed to be a whole, all this bouncing around from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. No. If you're doing that much bouncing, the nuclear family cannot exist. And without the nuclear family, you cannot have the community. And without the community, you cannot have the nation. That's the idea. I'm going to land right there. I pray. I know today's class was a little long. I pray that brothers and sisters were edified by the class. If you guys were edified, you guys can put one in the chat. I do thank you, brothers and sisters, for being here. I want an hour longer than I normally do. But all praise to the Most High, man. I pray that you brothers and sisters were edified. I see Elder Zahab is not here, so I'm going to just end off the class by making a couple of announcements really quickly. So y'all bear with me. It's going to be really fast. Let me just come up to that. I see the ones in the chat. So y'all bear with me 1 second. Let's make a couple of announcements and we're going to get out of here. So the Academy is coming back. Sometime around October, November, the Academy is coming back, as you guys can see. So going forward, for those that enjoyed today's class, this is how I normally teach in the Academy. For those going forward for the Academy, the only people that's going to be accepted into the Academy is people that actually want to join the body. So there's the information right here at the bottom of the screen. You could email us at joinloy149@gmail.com. Or you can also sign up for the Academy at the Lions of Israel on our website. So if you want to join the academy, there it is. That's how you do it. You contact us. That's coming in October, late October, early November for 2026. There's going to be a women's academy as well, which is different than the men's academy. Again, this is going to be for sisters that want to join the body, right? There's a different academy for women. Most of the time, I was putting the women in the men, in the other academy, which y'all still can come in. I'm still going to accept, if you want to join the body, I'll still allow you access to the other academy too. But there's going to be something specifically for the sisters that I'm working on. And it's the Women of Wisdom Academy. That's also coming sometime around October and November. So I'm just making you guys aware. I'm going to keep announcing this every single week, all right, until the time comes. Now, what about the brothers and sisters that want to learn but don't want to join the academy? There's something different for y'all that's being created. And it's called the Israelite Apologetics Training Academy, which is also being worked on. That's coming sometime around late October, early November. So I'll give you guys more details as time comes in. I'm not abandoning it, because I know a lot of brothers and sisters have done earlier academies that did not join the camp because y'all are in other camps. So I'm not abandoning y'all, but we're just making a differentiation. We're still going to teach those of y'all that want to learn. If y'all saw what y'all saw today, and y'all want to learn things like that, how to explain things that people try to weaponize against us, that's still going to exist for people outside the camp. It's just going to be a different way. That's all, right? So you have to contact us and let us know that you want to do the Apologetics Academy, which is coming in November, all right? Just two more. The Feast of Tabernacles. Let me get rid of the banner 1 second. The Feast of Tabernacles is coming September 24th, 2026 to October 1st. So if you want to observe Tabernacles with us, you have to email us on our website right there. There it is. All right. If you don't contact us, you can't come camping with us. You have to contact us, and we have to know who you are. All right. And last but not least, this is probably the most important, Passover 2027 is going to be for Lions of Israel in Detroit, Michigan. All the roads lead to Detroit, right? The meet and greet is April 19th of 2027. And the Passover observance is April 20th of 2027. So I need for you brothers and sisters to start making plans from now, as far as your travel, your flights in, your driving in, whatever you're doing, where you're staying. Where you're staying.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Lucky, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you're going to be coming to Passover, start making plans from now, where you're staying, your Airbnb, how you're flying in, how you're driving in, and so forth and so on. It's enough time. We're in August right now, so there's plenty of time. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I went to Detroit maybe over a year ago, and I did not consult with them. So I wound up getting my Airbnb all the way on the other side of Detroit, far away from where everything was. That's because I didn't talk to them. So what I'm saying is that if you plan on attending Passover or whatever, there'll be things set up where you can actually talk to people and map out where you're closer to the venues for what we're doing than I was when I didn't talk to nobody. And the same thing happens every year when people come to Passover in New Jersey, the same thing. So there's plenty of time to make, proper plans for Passover. That's the idea, okay? So all praise to the Most High for that. That's the end of the announcements for me. Zahab, if you have anything you want to bring out before we get out of here, the floor is yours.
You already spoke about Tabernacles, right? If the people want to congregate with us, they can reach out to us.
Yeah, here's the flyer again for Tabernacles right here. That's the email. So email us and let us know if you're coming. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Lord willing, brothers will be back for classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday again. So just stay in touch with us, brothers and sisters. Enjoy your Shabbat.
All right. All praise to the Most High. I pray that the class was edifying to you, brothers and sisters. I know that was a lot, right? If you have been here this whole time and have not hit the like button, have not subscribed to the channel, you need to repent and believe the gospel. That's wicked as hell. Most High Allah, we'll be back here next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another class. It's your brother Priest Daniela, representing Lions of Israel, Maccabees TV, along with El Zahab. We appreciate y'all's support. Please continue to follow the banner at the bottom. And if you can make a donation to us, we greatly appreciate it. And with that, please say shalom, y'all.
From 100.
Yeah. God had his hand on me since before the womb. I didn't know what that meant until I read the Bible.
Amen.
I didn't know what that meant until I read the Bible. He had his hand on me since before the womb. You think I started in the womb? He had his hand on me since before the womb. Like, oh, this is going to do this. You're going to make this happen. You're going to touch this person. You're going to touch these people. You're going to... Yo, I am God's child. I am God's child. I am God's child.
Yeah! The gyms are closed. I gotta get this aggression out. Let's go. I describe myself as cold with a conscience. Can't roll with the nonsense. Don't mistake the cover of the book for its contents. I might show you kindness, swim with the piranhas. Things that we forget and to come back and remind us. Like we all have a past we want to put behind us. Designed to be good, but evil always seems to find us. A man can only change the things he acknowledges. Plus this beat is flame, but skills over politics won't be the same. What really has me stressing out, the gyms are closed, so I can't get this aggression out. Before we get the promises, there must be offenses. The Bill Gates of hell won't prevail against us. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Say my prayers. Thank God for blessing me. My life's an open book. Could that be why they're testing me? Maybe everything I do is done out of necessity. Stock is on the rise. I think you should invest in me. It's not strange. I'm money like blockchain. Except the things in life that I cannot change. Chant down Babylon. Payback is coming. I ain't LeBron James. You thought I came back for nothing? The game is canceled in the blink of an eyelash. Flow is sick. Grab your N95 mask. The new normal, it gets even scarier. All black and white, there is no gray area. Plain as day, we got the whole package, baby. Competition, their rhymes are all average. And that's my 16, nothing else to say, y'all. 5G raps, find me under the radar. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Bounce. The gyms are closed. I gotta get this aggression out. Let's go. I'm from the city, they say never sleep. People you can never please. Words of blue checks that Twitter gives celebrities. Sometimes it's commercial, sometimes herbal remedies. Guaranteed to be 100 like centipedes. I claim my innocence, although innocence. I ain't perfect, I'm trying to cleanse my innocence. Not alone, I'm assisted by some instruments. And when I'm done, I'm on to doing bigger things. No holes barred, take no prisoners. Aim for the sky, potential is limitless. Before we get the promises, there must be offenses.